Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. How amazing is this? Do you know, honestly, with the situation that's going on at the moment, I'd written off this year's birthday. I absolutely had. So thank you, everyone at Sewing Street, for making me... It's so special. This is amazing. Welcome to today's show. We have got a jam-packed jam. Speaking of jam, I can smell this beautiful strawberry jam on my Vicki sponge cake. Lisa, thank you so much for making me that. It's just amazing. I can smell it. Oh, look at that. Delicious, delicious. Haven't lit all the candles. You couldn't fit all of the candles on there. But we're really, really excited to eat some cake later. We've got a jam-packed show. So much so that Joe, who at the moment, I mean, the team who were here yesterday managed to put all the set together, and Joe arrived this morning and he's over in the gallery. But it's just so lovely, even just to have me and Joe here. It's really nice. Nice way to be spending... Oh, gosh.
Did that work?
Well, you didn't see it on camera, but he did just do a party popper from a socially acceptable distance. Thank you, Joe. He said just before we went on air, Vic, I'm really nervous. He said, what? Oh, he says it's because I had so much to think about the party poppers. I've got so many messages. He says, I've literally got about 4,000 messages to read to you, Vic. So many people getting in touch saying happy birthday. It's my official birthday on Sunday. This is my show birthday. I was actually due to be flying off to Australia tomorrow. But do you know what? I'm so happy to be spending my birthday with you, birthday weekend. Please do get in touch with me. It would be so, so lovely. Now more than ever, if you're celebrating your birthday this week as well, I want to hear from you so we can all say happy birthday together, because it's a bit of a strange birthday time, isn't it, at the moment? But do get in touch with me. If you want to get in touch via Facebook, then Hannah is producing from home. Hayley's there as well. They're all keeping an eye on the Facebook page and are going to be sending through messages to me here in the studio, so I'll read them out on air. It is Sewing Street TV on Facebook. You can also go onto the fan page, which is the Sewing Street Fans. If you want to start posting any of your makes, we love to see your projects, we really do. And you can get involved in the Make of the Week competition as well. I've got to have a good sift through after the show today to find the winner for tomorrow. Right, normally I start saying about the early bird. The first thing I said is, please, 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 can I just talk about something before we start the early bird? First of all, it's free postage and packaging today, free P&P all day on the television products and the web shop. Just need to use the code Vicki at checkout. Use the code VICKI at checkout, and that is applying to anything on the website. Anything. I mean, all the creative grids, the fabrics, the tools, the machines. This one in particular, I've done something a bit naughty. Thank you so much to our management team who have been so kind to be able to do this, especially for my birthday. So, our flagship machine, the 680 Plus. Absolutely adore this machine. It is just brilliant, the real workhorse in the sewing room. It's going to just be brilliant whether you're a quilter, dressmaker, bag maker, all sorts. I'll go into more detail about the machine in a bit, but the reason that we're really excited about this is because today, for my birthday, we've got a picture to show you. Look at the goodies you're going to get with this for free today. It's over £100 worth of goodies for free. It is a machine that is exclusive to us here in the UK, the 680 Plus from Elna. You're going to get 2 panels, those gorgeous snips, the little embroidery snips, a rotating cutting mat, wonder clips, extra bobbins, a creative grid ruler, and quilting gloves. They are some of my favourite products that we have in our catalogue, on our web shop. So I picked them out and thought, right, what's really useful for quilters, dressmakers, bag makers. You've got panels, creative grids, rotating cutting mat, always really useful. So they're going to be for free. I don't know how long we're going to be able to offer this deal, so absolutely make the most of it. And free postage and packaging, even on the machine. It will be coming straight from Elna, and your goodies will be coming from us. So it might be in 2 separate packages. Well, it will be in 2 separate packages. But if you were umming and ahhing about it, as I know so many of you have been, I've been seeing it on Facebook. A lot of people have been talking about it. So even before the early bird, I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware right from the word go of this absolutely incredible offer. please do make the most of that. I'll keep you updated on stock levels. Right, so we will talk about that later on, but shall we do today's early bird? So, as we always do, we want to start the show with a special discount for you. Absolutely amazing offer on the machine, but now to be able to see a rainbow fabric bundle with half a metre for free. I mean, you're already looking at £3.99 a half metre, which for your beautiful, beautiful spot-on poplin cotton is phenomenal anyway. We're at less than £20, that's £19.95, and a great way to open your order. Remember, it's free P&P all day. Joe and I, we have got so much to bring you today. So much, and lots of lovely messages. Oh, thank you for your messages. Thank you so much. We've got new products. We've got products that's back in stock. We've got brand new Moda range, May Morris. Absolutely love that collection. We've got lots of products, as I say, that have come back in stock. I've got 2 presents on the table, which I've been told I'm not allowed to open yet until I get told when to air them. And I know that they're fabrics, and I know that I've not seen them before. They got them back in stock for my birthday because they said I'd love them, but I've no idea. So message in, what do you think these fabrics are? I was trying to guess earlier, and then I thought, I haven't seen these, so why am I trying to guess? I have no idea which ones they are, but it is apparently a really, really special fabric that they think I'll love. Thank you, Hannah and Joe, for that. £19.95, it is today's early bird. Remember, you're getting half a metre of each of these colours. Those 2 blues are different, by the way. It looks like we've got the same blue, doesn't it? Were you just thinking that, Joe? So they were all in pre-cuts, half a metre like this. Oh, whether you're making rainbows for your window, whether they're just great stash builders, at that price, it's just phenomenal. £19.95, Rose and Hubble, poplin weight, so slightly lighter than your quilting cotton, but still absolutely fine for patchwork and quilting. And then this is you don't have the breakdown, do you, Joe, of the different colours? Because can you see there is a slight difference? There's like an aqua blue and a baby blue, a beautiful pretty pink, your red spot on, maybe Christmas makes, your yellow for your springtime. There's so much for your money. Your today's early bird with free P&P. I feel like I want to shout from the rooftops because we've never done it before. I think this is the first sort of event that we've done, actually, isn't it, at Sewing Street? Very exciting. Okay, we've got purple. This is sky. And then that one's called powder, so slightly different shades of blue. Then you've got cerise, your red and your yellow, all half a metre pre-cuts. If you're multi-buying this, which as I can see quite a few people are, it will already come pre-cut into half metres. Oh, I'm just so, honestly, I'm a bit overwhelmed. It's exciting, isn't it? Got loads to do today. Right, I could sit and talk about this for the whole of this hour, but we've got loads and loads to bring. Loads of goodies. Do just make sure you make the most of that. Thank you for your lovely messages. Thank you for all your happy birthday messages. Hilary, thank you. Angela, thank you. Rosemary, Sandra, thank you. Mal, thank you. Lynette, Karen. Oh, my word, Margaret, Patricia, Diane, Trish, thank you so much. Joe's like, I can't keep up with these messages. Claire, thank you. Claire from Solihull, Claire who makes things. Hello, Claire. Oh, I know that you've sent a long message. Joe said he'll read it to me in a bit. Anne, Lisa, Ellen, oh, my word, thank you. More, Elizabeth, thank you. Oh, on Instagram. So I've been doing the takeover this morning. I apologise for the bombarding if you had a lot of notifications. I was playing with the different filters. And I thought, oh, I've been told to do this Instagram takeover. Shall I start by doing my makeup? But I don't know whether you saw on the Sewing Street fan page my makeup tutorial. If you didn't, you can watch it back on there to get all of my tips on how I do my makeup in the morning. Yeah. Okay, so when can I do my presents, by the way? Is that going to be... Not yet. And when can we have cake, more importantly? Not yet, not yet. Right, so this is the first time I've seen this thread box. It came in stock and sold out within the first showing. So I said, is there any way that we could get it back for the birthday show? And I don't know whether it was on the other day. I think somebody went, I'm having it, and it's coming back into stock, but it's now really, really limited. I think we've got less than 30 of these, which we ordered quite a few more in. So do make the most of it. They are 40 weight. These are your 40 weight polyester. Yeah, I think it was Debbie, wasn't it? You might have seen them a couple of days ago with Debbie. They'd literally just come back into stock. The great thing about this storage box is that they're stackable as well. So I know a lot of people who have bought multiple of these and stacked them up in their workroom because the value for money is brilliant. And all of these are such beautiful, beautiful colours. So they are 100% polyester. They are your 40 weight, which they're slightly thicker than your 50 weight, which means, well, they're called embroidery, but these would be brilliant for, machine embroidery because they'll stand out. They've got that lovely sort of sheen that would look really, really nice with your machine embroidery. Also great for applique, brilliant for free motion. You can do garment construction with this. You can do quilting with it. How beautiful would these look when you're quilting? When I was watching John Cole Morgan's show, and he was saying about doing a satin stitch if you're adding your Dresden plate onto a cream background. He says, oh, just pull on some of those oranges or pull on some of these. I can imagine this amazing bright orange. This is the great thing about polyester thread is that you do have such amazing colour. And it's different to how it used to be. Polyester thread is brilliant. It's really strong. It's not going to leave lots of lint in your machine. So there's lots of great benefits of using polyester thread, and it is made a lot differently to how it used to be made. It does mean that you get this great variety of colour. So you get all of these spools, brilliant for quilting, tacking, machine embroidery, as I said. How many do we get? 50. 50 spools for less than £50, and I like the fact that they've all got the individual little post to stack them in, so they're not going to be all over the place. Because how many of us have maybe got all of our threads in a drawer or in a basket, and you're sifting through thinking, what colours have I got? You can spend some time organising this to make it all nice in order, rainbow order. Oh gosh, I know, Joe just said, oh Vic, I'm exhausted. We've had quite an eventful hour, haven't we? Prepping, say hour, the last few days. That's £1 a spool. £1. I tell you what, we're spoiling you, aren't we? Absolutely. I do love this lovely green, the shades of green. I mean, even if you're thinking, right, I'm going to do some free motion or some quilting, just the array, and you're trying to match up a colour to a fabric, look at how many greens. This is just the greens that I'm pulling out here. Making a mess. Look, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different shades of green there. Some of the pinks are amazing. This is your chance. Oh, is there another green there? That's another green, isn't it? So the value for money at £1 a spool and free postage and packaging. We've never offered free P&P before. It's a really great chance if you are new to us to try us out. As far as we're aware at the moment, we are looking at our deliveries on time. If it does take a little bit longer, then thanks for your patience and please do bear with us because we're working with a smaller team, obviously, in the warehouse. But as far as I'm aware, I think we are on track, which is exciting. I think it's 4 to 6 working days, which is brilliant, isn't it? Because it means that we can still get sewing. I know a lot of places obviously are struggling with delivery. So if you're getting your P&P, this is what I said to our management. They said we're going to do free P&P, and I said, I think it's really unnecessary because at the moment I'm just grateful if a place can deliver. There's so many shops I know who are unable to deliver at the moment, so it's fantastic that we're able to do that. But free P&P as well is just fantastic. Only for today. Only for today. Okay. A third of the stock of the early bird has now gone. See, some of these would look lovely. If you're just pulling out maybe your purple. See, that's a nice purple one to go with. Or maybe you want to do a contrasting and add pink, or even a green or an orange, or a lovely gold. See, that'd be nice for Christmas makes, wouldn't it? I know a lot of people are starting their Christmas makes. No, Joe, he's saying, Vic, are you kidding? We're in April. But you know what it's like, the rush before Christmas. We're always thinking, I wanted to make myself a Christmas tree skirt or a table runner or little gift bags for people this year. It's a good time to just get it all done, isn't it? Especially with these nice new threads. They're beautiful. Right, I could talk about this, as I said, for the whole hour. These are brilliant. Oh, a lot of people... a lot of people loving the cake. Lisa made it. So Lisa Wilcox is Joe's mum, and she's just, well, we always say this, we feel uneasy, on edge if there's not a Wilcox in the building. I can't go a day now, I must say, that they're all not only like people I work with, they're literally my best friends. So Kat, Lisa, Terry, Joe, honestly, thank you so much for all these lovely decorations on my cake. I can smell it so much, Hayley. My tummy is rumbling so bad. Can we have a cut into it? Maybe, right, we've got Sallieann's demo later, haven't we? Maybe everybody pop your kettle on, ready at 10 o'clock, and we can sit and we can watch Sallieann's demonstration, and we can have a slice of cake and a cup of tea together, can't we? That'd be nice. Or if you haven't got cake, get yourself a biscuit or something naughty from the cupboard. Treat ourselves. It's my birthday, so please do. Please do. Okay. I've not... Is it this one? Oh, no, it's this. I was going to say, these are all new to me. I've not seen this one either. This is so lovely. I'm going to open it up, in fact. Let's see what we get inside. Am I allowed to open it, Joe? He said no, but I'm doing it anyway. We need to see what we've got. Right, in here. Oh, this is lovely, a nice little desk tidy. How cute is that as a gift for somebody? If you're thinking, look, we can't see everybody, maybe it is someone's birthday coming up and you're thinking, right, I'm not going to get a chance to see them, I might post them a little gift. It's free postage and packaging today. So I wonder, actually, if you speak to our customer service team, if there is an address that you want to send this to, I'm sure they can add that onto the system. That's what I've been doing, and just sending it along to somebody else, because this is so pretty, isn't it? You've got inside... You've got, sits nicely into the lid. You've got your scissors, you've got your little spool, and you've got your tape measure, plus your little caddy to keep all your little bits and bobs, maybe your seam ripper. You could keep any other bits of thread that you might need, maybe if you're doing a plica or EPP out in the garden. Just nice to be able to have on your little side table, isn't it? In the lounge. We don't all have a designated sewing room, and I know a lot of people who have found us maybe just channel hopping over the last few weeks. We've had a lot of people who have been joining us, and we don't all have the space to, store all of our bits and bobs. So that, just on the side table, in the lounge, whilst you're doing a bit of hand sewing, is really nice, isn't it? Or a nice gift for somebody, £11.99 with free postage and packaging, and that is only for today. Just remember to add Vicki at checkout. The code is Vicki at checkout, VICKI. Just £11.99, and that will unlock your free P&P reward. So this is new to me. One of my favourite ever Tilda collections. I've been picking with Hannah and the team over the last couple of weeks. Some of my favourite fabrics and my favourite products that I wanted to bring back. This one is absolutely gorgeous. What I like about it, this one's just open, so you just get the one 10-piece fat quarter pack. What I love about this is that you've got the Tilda, I want to say, blenders. Now, I don't like to use that word when I'm talking about designer fabric like this, but they're colours that match in perfectly with your Tilda collection, and they go with so much. Lorraine, thank you very, very much. I'm being spoiled, honestly. I've had so many messages. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Joe. But the Tilda's collection, Apple Butter, was actually based around her grandmother's dressing room. So these are designed to be like the pearls. She says that, if you imagine the floral wallpaper and pearls draped over a dressing table. But these colours just go so well together. Your greens, they are fat quarters. So if you imagine a metre cut into quarters, or half a metre in half, Then if you've got any of our, maybe the Wendy Gardner a gift book, or if you've got the Wendy Gardner home book as well. We've seen quite a few fat quarter books over the last week. These are brilliant for that because they're going to go with everything, aren't they? Maybe you're pulling on some of the fabrics that you've got in your stash, or if you are just thinking of making nice little gifts for people, pin cushions, scissor keepers, that sort of thing. You can actually make a lot with the fat quarter, as I think we've learned from those books recently. £31.99, back in stock while stocks last. I don't know how long that will be for because I know how popular Tilda is. I do love the pearls, especially pearls in teal. I know that some of the colours that you could see there aren't open there. Which ones aren't there? But you do get all of those. You get all 10 of your fat quarters. I know they're folded like fat eighths, aren't they? Which confuses me a bit, but they are fat quarters. Easily confused. Hello, Susan. Oh, Susan, thank you so much. Is anybody else sharing a birthday? Mine's the 26th. My actual birthday's on Sunday. Go on. Lorraine, thank you so much in Scotland. Lynn has a problem. The cake's making me hungry. What's the time now? Oh, it's 8:21. What is an acceptable time for me to eat my cake? Well, we've said 11 o'clock we're going to do it. No, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. We can do it at 10. At 10 o'clock because we've got Sallieann Harrison who's done the most amazing quilt demo. Have you seen this beautiful, beautiful colourway? It's called the Twilight Quilt, which looks like it's 3D. You've probably seen it on the Facebook page. It honestly is one of those a bit of an illusion. It's really cool, like the Twilight Zone. The early bird, by the way, lots and lots of people checking out on that. Way over, well, coming up to half the stock is now sold out. We put together lots of those bundles and you get half a metre for free. So if you are wanting to stock up your stash with fat quarters or half metres, then that's a great way of doing it. Angela, when is it Angela's birthday? Today? Oh, this week. St George's Day and Angela's birthday. Angela, happy birthday. I know it's such a strange one, isn't it? One of my good friends, she was 40 the other day, and she's like, oh, my word, this is not how I expect to spend my 40th. But she did, had like a cheese board and made it lovely at home. So this is brilliant. I feel like I'm being spoiled rotten to be able to have all this. I kind of written off my birthday this year. Okay. It's Karen's mum's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to your mum. Happy birthday. You can join us in eating some cake then later. 10 o'clock, get yourself a Vicki or a piece of cake, anything, some ice cream or something that's naughty that we shouldn't really have before midday, but it's acceptable when it's a birthday, isn't it? So we're all going to do that and watch Sallieann Harrison's demo at 10. Right, already we've had people taking advantage of this offer. It is free postage and packaging all day today, whether you're buying some needles, whether you're buying some pins, whether you're buying some fabric, whether you're getting involved in the kit later, or whether you're taking advantage of the UK exclusive to us here at Sewing Street. There's nowhere else in the UK that you can get this machine full stop. So to be able to say that you can get it with free postage and packaging, get it home, you've also got the extended warranty with Elna to 5 years. I think there's a limited number of machines that we can offer that with now. And over £100 worth of goodies. Now, this isn't like, you know, sometimes if you get a few freebies and they go in a box and you never see them again. I've hand-selected with my producer, Hannah, the most useful, I think, some of the most useful bits and bobs. So, we always need bobbins. You've also got wonder clips for bag makers, for dressmakers, for quilters, for your binding. This is really, really useful. Your lovely little snips. Your lovely little embroidery snips, your quilting gloves, very useful, very handy. And also 2 panels. 2 panels to get sewing with. Now, whether you choose to make, you know, your kitchen bits and bobs with those, because they're all, that one's got kitchen bits on. I mean, there's loads that you're going to be able to do. Lots of fabrics to get sewing with. For just... Now, I say for just £1,099. I understand it is a considered purchase, but this is, for me, probably one of the most Well, it is our flagship machine. It's our flagship machine. When I talk to lots of my friends who are in the industry, lots of designers who come on air, they all want to work with this machine. Oh, also, I haven't even said, you also get a Creative Grid square and a rotating cutting mat. So they're all really, really useful freebies. I love that word. I love a freebie. Anybody that knows me personally will know that I love raiding in the whoopsie aisle at the supermarkets. You know, the ones with the yellow stickers, or in the sale rail. I love having a bit of a rummage for freebies or bargains. And to be able to get all of these for free today, I understand maybe if you were thinking about going for the machine, it might just give you, it might just say, go on then, I'm going to go for it. The machine itself is the workhorse. It is the really robust, amazing machine, whether you're a quilter, dressmaker, bag maker, doing soft furnishing. Don't get me wrong, it might not be, if you've just found us for the first time, it might not be the machine that you start to learn with. Maybe you're borrowing a machine from a friend or a relative to have a go, and I would recommend that. That's exactly what I did. I borrowed my mum's sewing machine and had a bit of a play with it. Trust me, when you've got the brand name though, Elna, when you've got the all of the different sort of gadgets from a computerized machine, it does make your life so much easier. It's having the fact that it's all sort of preset for you. If you have an older machine that is just on a dial, is on a wheel, your tensions you have to alter, your sort of stitch length and stitch width you would have to alter, whereas this, you choose what stitch you want to do and it would automatically change, default to the correct width and length, or the recommended. You can override it. It's got so many stitches, it's got alphabets, it's got stitches for applique, your utility stitches, loads of buttonholes, great decorative stitches, as I say, alphabets, numbers, you can do some monogramming with it. It is that absolute machine that you're not going to have to upgrade you're not going to have to upgrade it in the next year or two. It's something that's going to grow with you. It is a TV exclusive with over £100 of extras for free. We've also done it with free postage and packaging today. So if you were thinking about making that next step into investing into a machine that is going to last and grow with you. It's little things like your storage compartments that I love. It just means that everything is there at ease. It comes already with an absolute plethora of feet and accessories as standard, as well as the extras that we're giving today. All of those lovely little key handy buttons on the front, whether it's you're cutting your thread, which is really handy, the needle up down, lock and stitch, reverse, start, stop. You can use this with a foot pedal or without. Your speed control. It's really quiet as well, which I love. Obviously, when we're sewing on television, we've picked a machine that we can talk and be on telly without it being very, very loud. So even though, I mean, it's a huge machine, it's got that great, really great extra space if you're quilting or dressmaking, an extra wide throat space, which, again, just helps. It will just help when you're quilting a big quilt, or will help when you're constructing a coat or a long garment. But to say that it is quite a big machine and heavy machine, it really, really isn't going to be one of those very, very loud jumping along your table machines. Also, bag makers, dressmakers, it has got a free arm, so if you're doing sleeves, trouser legs, bag handles, anything circular, that's really handy to have as well. It's got an extension table that comes with it. It's got a knee lift that comes with it. I honestly could, and we have done, hours talking about this machine alone. One of my very, very good friends, John Scott, I had a good chat with him about this last week because this is the machine that he owns. So if you've watched any of his Facebook Live, this is the machine that he would be using and he loves it. And he did say to me, Vic, come and tell everybody at Sewing Street. It's a brilliant machine and he can absolutely recommend it. Here at Sewing Street, well, normally at Elna you would get a 2-year warranty on all of the Elna machines. We've extended it to 5 years. So that would normally come at an extra cost. But today we're saying, well, for a limited amount of machines, we can offer a 5-year warranty. They've got a UK customer service team, but the manual on this is brilliant. It's really user-friendly. It's a user-friendly machine to start with. Don't be overwhelmed by the fact that it's computerized, because I know that's what John Scott said to me. He said, I was really nervous about taking that leap to a computerized machine, but it won't let you do anything you're not allowed to do. If you've got the wrong foot on, or if you've got the wrong stitch plate in, it will bleep at you and say, you need to put this foot on, and tell you what letter, foot. They're all I say numbered, they've all got little letters on, so you know. It will come in 2 separate packages, as this will come from Elna and your goodies will come from us. So just to remind you, because we will always, this will be like our flagship machine, we will always do our best to make sure that this is always in stock. But we can't do this every day. Free postage and packaging. And can I remind you of all the goodies you're getting? 2 panels, scissors, rotating cutting mat, creative grid ruler, quilting gloves, wonder clips. What have I missed? There's so much. There is so much. Extra bobbins. There is loads that comes with this as standard, but we've thrown them in. Thank you for my birthday. We're treating everybody. I'm going to keep saying this a lot today, just so I get away with everything. But it's my birthday. Please, can we just do that? Can we do that? I did keep doing it, and I thought, right, how far can I push the buttons and say, can we do free P&P? I know it's completely unnecessary, especially with what's going on in the world right now. Just the fact that we can deliver, I think, is brilliant. But be able to say, right, for today, let's cheer everybody up. We want to do a celebration. I know it's very, very difficult to find things that are cheery on the telly at the moment. So fingers crossed this cheers you up. And it means that if you are, you know, starting a new hobby or starting a new skill. Did you watch the sewing bee last night? I think after the Great British Sewing Bee has started, we're just going to have so many more people joining our community, which will be brilliant. Let me know if you own this machine, what you think of it. Let me know what your favourite features are, because everybody I talk to, they like different things about it. But the one thing that everyone has in common is that it's really user-friendly and fantastic value for money. If you can afford to spend that £1,000 mark on a machine, this is without a doubt the one that I would go for, without a shadow of a doubt. I'll keep you updated on stock levels throughout the show, as obviously the management haven't said that I can have an unlimited amount with this bundle. So it is extremely limited, and we've already had people taking advantage of the offer. I understand it's very early in the morning. Maybe you weren't thinking of spending £1,000 before 9 o'clock this morning, but have a think about it. Don't wait too long. I'll come back to that in a bit. We've had lots of birthday messages. Thank you. Hello, Genevieve. Thank you. She says happy birthday. Hi, Carrie. Thank you for your message. Tasmin, thank you for your message. Mickey, hello, Mickey. Olive. Oh, there's so many lovely messages. Thank you. I will make sure that I read them all when I come off the show. Jonas as well. I'm looking forward to sitting eating my cake and having a look through the messages later after the show. Don't forget, coming up, we've got a jam-packed couple of hours. So we've got a brand new launch from Moda. I have been absolutely enthralled reading about May Morris, who was just an inspiration in the arts and crafts era and change. It's honestly, you'll love the collection. It's a beautiful, beautiful collection from Moda called May Morris. If you haven't heard of May Morris, we'll talk about her. It's William Morris's daughter, who we'll talk about later on. That's going to be coming up in the next hour. Now, one thing that I said, I've got to have this on my birthday show. I absolutely love this panel. It's back and still at the same special price. Yep. Really, really shouldn't have been. But with free P&P, so you've never been able to get this. I know so many people have already got it. Why not buy another? Now you've got it with free P&P. All of those beautiful colours of the rainbow. It just makes you smile. It just makes us smile. As soon as I walk out my front door, look out the window, you can see rainbows in so many people's windows, and it's just making us feel so much better. Oh, yeah. Stop it, Joe. He's teasing us with that cake in the corner, isn't he? Sorry, everyone at home. If we're putting you off your nice bran flakes or yoghurt and healthy cereal that you're probably eating your porridge, and then you're like, oh, forget the porridge, I just want the cake. Proper Vicki sponge. £14.99, so all of the panels that we've had that look like this, well, most of them have been at £19.99, so a big saving because we know how many people are wanting the rainbow panels. Let's face it, whether you're choosing to cut this into 2.5-inch strips, the value for money to say that you're looking at the jelly roll like this is brilliant. They are extra wide strips, hence why I'm holding it like this, because I can't hold it like that. Because it's too wide. Normally with quilting weight cotton, if you're looking at a jelly roll or a design roll or, you know, a 2.5 inch strip cut from a 1/2 metre fabric, then it's 112 wide. This is 140 extra fabric, which we love. How about cutting this on the bias and making stripy bias binding? What about cutting them, you don't need to necessarily even cut them into the strips they intended. If you've seen any of Debbie Shaw's designs where she's pin tucked, she's done a is that what you call it? Pin tuck, Hannah? Where you pinch between these whites so the white actually is prominent in a beautiful bolster cushion or something like that would look amazing. Or if you're going with your nautical colours, we're looking at it at a rainbow right now, but just think for your stash, you've got reds, lovely oranges into those lovely lemons and limes to deeper greens to all of those great blues. It's a lovely ombre. And the detail with the spot in the background, I think just adds extra, just an extra sort of texture and dimension to the fabric, doesn't it? Extra texture. It's 100% cotton, quilting weight fabric for £14.99 for a jelly roll or a design roll, depending on which designer you're looking at. But you can be paying around £40, can't you? Pay about £40. And remember, this is wide. It's only because it's exclusive to us here. Can we offer that price? £14.99, only while stocks last. I keep begging and pleading for us to have more printed for you because it is exclusive to us, and I know how brilliant that price is. Whether you are making rainbows or whether you're taking some of these greens for your Christmas projects, maybe you've got a Pam and Nikki Lintop book, or in fact, saying that, there are so many quilt patterns, not just Pam and Nikki Lintop, that call for 2.5 inch strips. What about like, sorry, I'm going off the screen, aren't I? I'm getting away from the cake, it smells too good. If you're thinking of doing patchwork, 2.5 inch strips, how often they're called for? Do you want me to do it like that? Just do it better. Just because it's your birthday. It's calling me a diva. £14.99, 140 wide, and it just puts a smile on my face, doesn't it? What time is it? Is it time? Oh my word. Okay, so over the last couple of days, well, I say over the last couple of days, I wasn't here for a few weeks whilst I was at home. There was apparently a fabric that launched that had my name written all over it, and it went out of stock. This is literally what Hannah's been telling me. I've not seen these, by the way. Joe's wrapped them up for me. Thank you, Joe. And yeah, this is going to be for my stash, but we're also going to offer it to you at the brilliant, brilliant price. So, thank you. Joe and Hannah have picked these out. And there's some points as well that they want to get across to you before we open them. Go on then, Joe. I'm going to tell you exactly what Joe's telling me. Okay, glitter, yes. Because I love glitter, anything that's sparkly. Right, so they remind you of a certain princess. Me? Not me. A princess that I remind you of. Oh, Joe. He's wording this all wrong. Okay, I'm with you. Yes. So it reminds them of a princess that might want to build a snowman. I know where we're going with this. And I'm now a Carol, yeah. Yeah, we did have a Christmas Carol party, as I'm Mrs. Carol, Christmas Carol. So you know I like to get ready for Christmas all year round. Is it Christmas fabric? Christmas-esque. Which one do I need to open? One of them, any? And because I love a bargain and love the whoopsie aisle, the price on this is going to be brilliant. Oh, my word. Are you ready? Oh my word, I love it, I love it, I love it. So when was this launched? I've not seen this before. Oh, look, it's all sparkly. Oh, this is great for Christmas, isn't it? So do I get to keep this for my stash? Yeah, birthday present. Look at the price point of it. This is the most affordable pattern fabric that we've got in stock, so they know I love a bargain. Thank you. Oh, they know me so well. No wonder. Do you know, this isn't frozen fabric. This isn't the Disney fabric. But when we did have the Disney fabric in, I was so upset that they didn't wait for me to launch it. Oh, I love it. It's £3.99 a half metre. And I believe that's all sold out. Look at the detail of the glitter, the snowflakes. Oh, I love it. Oh, good choice. Thank you. You do know me down to a T. Free P&P as well. So this sold out when it was on air a couple of weeks back, and you can now get it for £3.99 a half metre. What about for little Christmas dresses, like little girls' dresses or sparkly dresses, or a little waistcoat, Christmas waistcoat? Oh, you need to start your... you could make a waistcoat for the Christmas Carol party for this year, Jo. That would look cool in this. I do like to make my own Christmas decorations, Christmas crackers and things like that you can reuse. I did like the outfits that you wore to the Christmas party. Terry Wilcox had a red suit on. He was Santa for a little bit. Lisa dressed as Mrs. Claus. What did you wear? You had a full tailored three-piece suit, didn't you? Tailored. It was actually tailored for the event. £3.99 a half metre. There's loads of you that have got this in your basket. If you're buying by the half metre, what a better way to celebrate my birthday with fabric to be playing around with in my stash. This is it, because let's face it, I'm not going to be able to be going out and doing things for my birthday. So it's nice to be able to remember my birthday. Maybe I'll make something that I then keep. Much like, you know, this banner, I must say, this has been from the Wilcox family birthdays. From when? Forever? As long as... Joe's saying early 2000s. This is decades old for Kat and Joe's birthday, and Lisa and Terry's. This is always coming out. So I feel honoured that I got part of it. But it's nostalgic, isn't it, when you bring out things that you may have made as well. It's lovely. Can I open the other one now? Right, I'm doing it back to back then. So is it the same story with this one, or have you got anything else? So is it going to go with this? Sorry, I'm just opening this. Although it's nice wrapping paper, Joe. It's not like Terry one. So it's splashed out. Oh, look at this blue, the frosty blue. I tell you what, that would go so beautifully with certain fabrics that I already have in my stash. Hint, 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 hint. Frosty foliage. Oh, look at the sparkle. It's 100% cotton, so even if you're quilting with it or you're sewing with it, don't worry about that little glitter bit. It will sew absolutely fine. That's sort of built into the fabric. I can't believe it's £3.99. No wonder that sold out first time round. No wonder that sold out. It's £3.99 a half metre. So let me show you. That's what half a metre is, which makes it the most affordable patterned fabric that we have. The most affordable pattern fabric we have in stock. And it's mine. £3.99 a half metre. What shall I make? I'm not here till, I've got a week or so that I'm not here, so I'm going to make something and bring it in then with it, because that's so nice, isn't it? Patchwork cushion front. That would look really nice. That would look really lovely. I want to have things, you know, a Christmas, like you say, a Christmas cushion that I could bring out. Maybe fabric baubles or decorations. What about like something to cover a notebook with, to do all of my notes for my Christmas party? Makeup bag. No, Hannah. Made one of those. Hannah's suggesting I make a new makeup bag. To be fair, these are great because you can just chuck it in the wash, can't you? Quarter of the silver's gone. Still stock available of both colourways if you do want to make the most of those prices, special birthday prices, and with free P&P. If you're multi-buying, remember it's going to be cut off the bolt, especially for you. So if you're after 3 meters of this, if you want to make an outfit or, you know, Christmas decorations, and this is going to be your theme, 3 meters would be 6 units. Did you see my Instagram this morning? Hannah says I'm going to need more makeup now I'm getting older. Thanks, Han. Did you see my makeup tutorial? I have, you know, I'm very good at makeup. £3.99. I nearly did it again on the Instagram takeover this morning, but we had so much to go through today. Getting ready for today's show. Had to get my cement mixer out, plug it all in, and my trowel for my face. No, I was looking, and I did try to tint my own eyebrows, which I've never done before, and I didn't leave it on half the time that they said to do it, and it's quite a scary process actually, because you're looking in the mirror and they're just getting darker and darker. So they are quite dark. On the Instagram this morning, I noticed they look very dark. Anyway, I digress. £3.99 a half metre. My birthday show is flying by. We've got so much that we want to do. Okay, this is where, because of the lack of time, I might not get a chance to show you this to the extent... Right, I'm putting this under here. How exciting. So, the ruler. We've got a brand new Stripology ruler, which... I mean, it's just brilliant, isn't it, in itself? So this is the latest addition to the Stripology family. It only literally launched a couple of months ago with Creative Grids. And they've now sort of stopped. I'm going to put a fabric underneath it, actually, Jo, if that's OK, just so you can see the markings. They have actually now, well, if you've bought the original Stripology before, that is no longer available as far as I'm aware. We can't get it at the moment anyway, because they've bought this one out. Now this is both, I'm just going to put that under it so you can see the markings. Is that all right? Let me just get myself sorted. I'm getting out the way. There we go. So, the ruler itself is big. When I first picked it up, I thought, I don't know if this is much bigger than the other one. So don't worry if you're thinking, oh my word, it's going to be too cumbersome, it's going to be too big for me. It's not, but they've added more features. So this is your extra large ruler. So before, with the original Stripology, you could cut up to 20 inches. Because of the extra lines, which I'll talk to you about in a second, you can actually cut up to, I think it's 21 3/4, 21 inches. 21 3/4 inches is now the biggest rectangle that you can cut with this. So it does really help. Price on this is amazing. It's with free P&P. It's something that you are going to use a lot, whether you're cutting into strips or sub-cutting, which I'll talk about as well. So they've combined their most popular Creative Grid rulers, Creative Grid Stripologies, and put them into one, which were the original Stripology and the squares, the Stripology squares. So you can see you've still got the squares like on the squared ruler. So the black ones are your full inch. You can cut your full inch squares on there. And then if you turn it around, the turnaround feature, you've then in the centre, you can see there's your 4.5 inch square, your 6.5 inch square. And at the bottom, it tells you your block sizes. So if you need to trim up your 6.5 inch block, you can just go straight into those grooves and you know very quickly and very accurately where your markings will be. They've also taken some of our favourite bits still from the Stripology. So you've still got your key, you've still got your stars and your squares, whether you're cutting your 1.5 inch or your 2.5 inch squares. Still got lovely grooves, but this time you'll notice that the slots are a lot longer. So when you fold your fabric to cut your full width fabric strips, it makes it easier that you can actually stack up multiple layers of fabric. Your white, as I say, squares are your 1/2 inch, and then your black are your full inch when you're squaring up blocks. They've added these extra dashed lines to either side of the mat. So that's this side. So can you see? Normally with the Creative Grid Stripology that the original one, I think it had the 1/4 inch. but I don't think it had, no, it didn't. It just had the 1/4 inch. So now we've got that extra 1/2 inch marking and also your 3/4 inch marking. So if you want to do more unusual sizes, if you want to do 3.5 inches, then you can just put your fabric up along there, and that makes it a lot easier on both sides to be able to do more unusual shapes and bigger shapes. As I said, now you can cut up to 21 3/4. The dashed lines, if I pull this down slowly, you can see the dashed lines also go along the top edge. So you've got your 1/4 inch and you've got your 1/4 inch and your 1/2 inch from the side. And that just makes it easier when, say if you're trimming a quilt, you can cut 1/4 inch from a point or 1/2 inch from a point, depending on your preferences for binding. Which is brilliant. Another new addition to this ruler, the original Stripology did have a 45-degree and a 60-degree line going from that bottom corner right to the end, but this time they've added 2 extra angles at the top. So going from the top to the bottom, you've got your 45-degree and your 60-degree angle as well, which basically means once you've cut your 2.5 inch strips, or if you want to cut your 5 inch blocks, or I mean, you can just cut and cut and cut in multiple layers, depending on how much you're sort of comfortable with. When I was doing some cutting yesterday, managed to do sort of 4 layers. I think you could probably do more. Kieran was comfortable doing more, my cutting husband. But I like to fold it in once and fold it twice to get 4. It makes it so much quicker to be able to have that extra little bit of length to cut your full width. In fact, they've said it reduces your cutting time by 75%. It will really speed up the cutting process. What was it that I was going to say? So once you've cut, say, your 2.5 inch strips, you can then position your strip. I want to show you. I'm very aware of the time. So here's a strip that I cut earlier. Oh no, I did cut that one right up. So if you position your strip along that 60-degree line this way, you could then subcut. Say you want to do 2.5 inch diamonds, for example, you'd still cut through your 0 first to make that first cut, but then 2.5 inch calls for the square. So without doing any maths, I know I can just cut at each point, and then that will give you triangles like diamonds like this. If you imagine that was all like this, I cut it into 2.5, and very quickly and very easily you can cut diamonds, you can cut parallelograms, you can cut, now with the new feature of the extra large Stripology, you can also cut 60-degree triangles and 90-degree right angle triangles. So it just means there's even more. It adds a whole new level to your cutting process. And whether it is that you're doing it for patchwork, or whether you're doing it to create your own design rolls, jelly rolls, it is brilliant. Having that extra weight on your quilts as well, if you're trimming up your quilt, having that extra weight, because it is quite heavy, and they do say pick it up with both hands and store it away nice and flat. It will last the test of time. I do want to do a full sort of talk through and do some cutting with you at some point as well. But the other great thing is that with your instructions, you've got a QR reader, which takes you straight to YouTube tutorials. So you can simply type into YouTube Creative Grid extra large ruler Stripology, and it will take you to great video tutorials. I was watching them all day yesterday, and there's so much that you can do with these rulers. Still, of course, from Creative Grid, you get the non-slip grip, which is between every single one of those slots. So it means that you're not having to measure. They always say measure twice, cut once. With this, you can rely on the ruler. They're so accurate and so precise, and it will just speed up your cutting process. I know it's a bit of an investment, but I think this will probably be your most used ruler. When you've got your 1/2 metre, when you're cutting from the 1/2 meterage, it just makes it so much quicker. The other rulers that we have got is the square, which the square is another very, very popular one, actually. As I say, this one looks quite similar, but it's smaller. So it's still got those squares that we've just seen with the extra large one. So they've just brought this one out to combine the original with the squares. Let me move this across. So, once again, you've got your full inch increments going up on the side and along the bottom. And then if you turn it around, you've then also got that turnaround feature to be able to measure 0, half an inch, 1, 2, all your slits are by the ½ inch, and then perfect if you're squaring up any of your blocks. So if you want to know that you have got a perfect 4½ inch square or a 4 inch square, your black lines are your full inches and your white lines are your ½ inches. It is really easy to use. Simply use, if you're a bit concerned about using a rotary cutter, I actually find that this, for me, feels safer because you've got the little grooves. I'm not going to be wobbling all over the place. I'm going to make sure that I've got that stability. Once you're in that groove, you are going to be able to cut that full line without any wobbling. That's £44.99 for the squared. Ideal for squaring up blocks, really, I think. And then the little mini one, not only is this just so cute and adorable, we don't always work from ½ meterage. Sometimes you're working on smaller pre-cuts, smaller blocks. This is great for of course, because you can take this on the move, you can take this to your classes and still make sure your cutting is really accurate. With this one though, you can also do your ½ square triangles, your quarter square triangles as well, and cut quickly and easily with those. You've also got this 1/8 of an inch and 3/8 of an inch line. So if you're moving that across, maybe your pattern calls for 2 1/8 or 2 3/8, you can simply butt your fabric. See if I can show you a bit clearer. Butt your fabric along to this part, make sure it's all lining up. Have it all lined up along the 0 line as well. You make your cut, and you know that that is going to be 2 3/8 or 2 1/8. So that is really going to be a great extra feature as well, because lots of our patterns call for quite unusual sizes, and I find any maths that can be eliminated, the better. They look a bit scary at the start. When I first looked at Creative Grid rulers, I thought, my word, there's a lot of numbers on there and a lot of dashes and a lot of markings, but it really, really helps you along the way. Do make sure you're checking out on any of those, as it's the first time we've ever offered them with no P&P. Free postage and packaging all day today. Have a look over the next 5 minutes or so on the web shop, because everything today is with free P&P, especially for my birthday. Thank you for your messages. Don't go anywhere. We're back with a brand new collection from Moda coming up right on the other side of this.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day, and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual. Always keep it to hand, because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick unpick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you, and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @Sewing Street. We have Facebook. We've got 2 Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page, and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All 3 of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those three and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly, and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Hello, welcome back to my birthday show. Oh, it's so lovely to be here, honestly. I was really, in all seriousness, I'd written off this birthday and I've said to my friends and family, look, I can't see you, I know, it's going to be really, really horrible. But it's fine. There are worse things that are going on than, me missing out on a birthday. So I'm over the moon that I managed, that everyone's pulled together to do this amazing show. We've got the most brilliant day for you. Not only is it my birthday, but we're celebrating in style and letting everybody join the party. So, not only on the show, but you can take advantage of free P&P on all of the websites. Loads of people are already doing that and taking advantage of that brilliant free P&P all day today by just using the code Vicki at checkout. Just use the code Vicki in checkout, and that will enable you to get free P&P all day from our Sewing Street show and web shop, which, with all that's going on at the moment, I think is really special. I know that we're just aiming to get all of our deliveries out as quick and as safely as possible to you. So to be able to say, do you know what? And free P&P today, it's brilliant. Well done everybody who has already taken advantage of the incredible machine offer. I wanted to start with it. How often do I start the show not even mentioning the early bird? Because I said, right, we have to make sure that everybody is aware of this from the word go. I understand that you might have to, have a bit of a think about it. Don't wait too long, because the deal that we've offered on this today is brilliant. One, you're getting free postage and packaging, but also you have over £100 worth of goodies today. And not just, when I say goodies, I mean goodies. These aren't just novelty little bits that you probably won't use. All really useful, hand selected by myself and my producer Hannah. Wonder clips, rotating cutting mat, embroidery snips, 2 panels, bobbins. You've got some quilting gloves, a creative grid ruler, square ruler. All really useful, handy things. But of course, star of the show, that machine, which we've had so many messages coming in of people who own this machine already and how much they love it. It is a UK TV exclusive, and we are very proud to have this machine as our sort of flagship machine, because it's brilliant. Whenever guest designers come in, obviously we all work on different machines, and they say, oh, I've not used it, can I just have a couple of minutes to get my bearings? And love it instantly, because it's so user-friendly. It almost sews for you. Obviously you have to sew with it, but it does the hard work for you, really does. So have a serious think about it. If you've got any questions about it, if you're thinking, oh, I wonder if it does that, or does it have this foot? Does it come with this? It comes with a walking foot, it comes with a free motion foot, comes with an extension table, comes with a plethora of accessories. But message in if there's something in particular that you want to know about it. If I can't answer it, there'll be somebody on our Facebook page that can. Somebody, one of our team, they're all monitoring the Facebook page from home. Message in. It's Sewing Street TV on Facebook. If you've got any questions about it, I would just hate for you to miss out on that brilliant deal with those extra goodies. So I'll keep you updated, but it's amazing. Thank you for, honestly, it's overwhelming how many lovely messages we're getting in. And I want to say happy birthday to anybody else that is celebrating their birthday during this lockdown period. It's very strange, isn't it? But we're all in this together, so happy birthday to you too. Marianne, thank you for your message. Sandra's messaged in, say happy birthday. Diane has. Mary, thank you. Ellen. Hello, Ellen. Ellen. Penblwydd Hapus. Happy birthday in Welsh. Oh, I must say hello to my grandparents in Wales as well, because, yeah, they will be saying the same to me. How do I say it in Welsh? Pemberley. Joe can't even do it. Say it. Go on. Have another go. No, you can't even. Pemberley Hapeth. Hapeths. Are we saying that right? Please let us know. Definitely not. Definitely not. What else have I got to tell you? So don't forget to join me at 10 o'clock. Stay with us. I know that cake is just looking too scrummy. So we're going to watch Sallieann's demonstration of the amazing Twilight Quilt and have a cup of tea and some cake together. So that would be nice. Right. Moda. A launch. Now, with all this going on in the world right now, obviously with suppliers are not able to send product out to us, I didn't think that I'd be able to get a launch. Not only have I got a launch, I've got a Moda launch. I know how much we all love Moda. I was watching John Cole Morgan's show a couple of days ago and he was saying, you know, how Moda put sort of pre-cuts on the map. They are just such a famous brand when you're looking at quilting fabrics. They're amazing. But also that I've got the May Morris collection. Now, the more I've started to read about May herself, she was just amazing. She was honestly just such a fantastic influence on the arts and crafts era. And it is William Morris's daughter. May Morris is William Morris's daughter, who was kind of overshone by her dad's success. Obviously, he was huge. Imagine being William Morris's daughter. No matter how talented you are, you're probably always going to be overshone by it. We did a bit of research. Now, I must do a shout out to Hannah, by the way, because she sent me quite a lengthy audio note yesterday saying, right, I've sent so many slides through to Joe and I've found so much interest. And she says, I don't mind if you don't use it at all, but she said, I've just got very excited about researching May Morris. I love her, was Hannah's words. So this is one that actually I think Hayley found for us. May Morris, youngest daughter of influential designer William Morris, was one of the leading female contributors to the arts and crafts movement. She ran the embroidery department of her father's firm, Morris & Co., and had a successful freelance career as a designer, maker and exhibitor, founding the Women's Guild of Arts in 1907 and undertaking a lecture tour in the United States between 1909 and 1910. May's approach to embroidery was innovative and widely influential in the UK and abroad, yet her important contribution to embroidery is often overshadowed by her compliments of a more famous father. Exactly. But she was amazing. She was a jeweller, she was a writer, she was a designer, she was just incredible at her craft. And when you say, right, Morris & Co., quite often when I talk about Morris & Co. here, I sometimes forget that there were a lot of contributors to the name Morris & Co. It isn't just William Morris. So the amount of designs that I've seen and thought, oh, I love William Morris, I love William Morris, it's probably been May Morris or somebody else from, you know, the arts and crafts movement. So I think we need to just have a read about her, have a Google into her. You can probably see things in the V&A. You'll find lots of articles. She was absolutely renowned for her talent. Here's a couple of the articles that we were looking at last night. This is one from National Trust website. I think this was taken from her diary aged 8. I'm very untidy and always very dirty, and sometimes I'm ashamed to say very naughty. A quote above is from May Morris's diary aged 8. The images and quotes are taken from the National Trust website, which a page dedicated to May Morris. So some of those images that we just instantly think of William Morris, that picture there, embroidery thought to be by May Morris. I mean, she was, when she took over the department of embroidery for Morris & Co., she was only 23. I mean, she was only 23. She was the youngest daughter of William Morris, and she was just an incredible talent and was so passionate about women artists. And I think this is why Hannah has taken a bit of a shine to May Morris, actually, is because I know that she was really passionate about women being at the forefront of the art industry in the growing up in the sort of Victorian era. She was around lots of amazing designers, but she was so passionate and amazing at what she did. Here's an article from the Guardian. Again, that beautiful May Morris embroidery was inspired by nature. you can see there, which is in the William Morris Gallery in London. I think they've tried. I found this video, me and Hannah were looking at it, and I'm not sure whether the William Morris Gallery has now got a full sort of department based to May Morris's work, because they just said, yes, William Morris is William Morris. He is just incredible. But May Morris was just an inspiration. Have a look at the V&A. If you, as I know a lot of you will have been to the museum, Hannah's been there herself, but the Honeysuckle Wallpaper, that was designed by May Morris, hand printed by Morris & Co. So quite often, just going back to what I said at the start, whenever we're looking at Morris & Co fabric, just have a thought for May, his youngest daughter, who was at 23 running the embroidery section, because she was just so passionate about her craft. So, oh, in fact, more embroidery here. This is what Hannah was saying to me yesterday. She said, Vic, I have found out so much about her and I absolutely love her. She was an amazing lecturer, writer and campaigner for women artists. And just remember that the whole collective of designers of Morris & Co. included his youngest daughter. And Moda have put together a collection called May Morris, dedicated to May Morris. These designs, these prints, these fabrics are amazing. So I really hope you love this as much as we do. We are really, I think this is my favourite ever Moda collection. Don't get me wrong, Three Sisters is classic. There's so many brilliant fabrics that Moda bring out, but I've got a feeling this could be the most popular we ever do. We've got 4 bundles, and then we've got them individually by the ½ metre. So first of all, this bundle is gorgeous. It's called Evany, and all of the prints work together so well. Of course, you're looking at Moda, so they've thought about the different scales of print and the texture that will bring when you're quilting and doing your patchwork. Whether you're fussy cutting these or whether you are simply using one as a cushion front. If you love William Morris, if you do love Morris & Co fabric, then you will absolutely adore these. They're stunning quality. They're such soft quilting cotton, but it's these prints inspired by nature that I think are just going to be so, so popular with us all here. If you do love art, and if you do love, as I say, that sort of era, the arts and crafts movement, then this is right up your street. It really is. 4 metres of fabric there. That is a lot for your money, bearing in mind these are all ½ metre pre-cuts. I'm going to open this one out so you can see what ½ metre looks like. They're all going to be pre-cut, and they all work together so well. I'm thinking if you're putting this with any of your Morris & Co fabrics, or if you're putting, oh, not one of my candles, if you're putting this with any of your solids, it's really going to go a long way. Maybe you want to put one in a hoop and embellish. You could do some hand embroidery over the top of this. That would look amazing. The colours, look at the blues and the pinks. You could really draw on some of those oranges, couldn't you? It does just have a very, very classic feel. And I know that, of course, when May was growing up in the Victorian era, she was just around some of the most influential designers and some of the most incredible artists. So you can see that flair. Okay, all of those, £58.99. That we will do these by the ½ metre, but I'll show you the other bundles first, as I do think it works so well. Gold and sage. That one's one of my faves. I've got to open this one out straight away. Oh, sorry, don't mess the order up, I'm being told. I won't. But look at the birds on this. This would be great for fussy cutting. Or, I tell you what, how about when you get the chance to buy this by the ½ metre, how amazing would these be for big, big, big cushions, or for blinds and curtains? Oh, just love that. So that's just ½ metre of what you're getting in this bundle. That's one of the prints. You're also getting the greens, the golds, I'm not messing up the order, there you go. So you've got the green and gold, so you've got that one in both colourways. Your sage and gold, oh, that one's lovely as well. That's so nice. It's changed just reading about her over the last few days. It's completely changed the way I feel about William Morris fabric. I say that. It hasn't changed the way I feel about it, it's changed the way I think about it. Because whenever I see Morris & Co, you'll only ever hear me talk about William Morris. And I think we forget that it's a collective of amazing designers from the arts and craft movement, including May Morris. So, yeah, I've got a newfound love for May. I think she's brilliant. Look at this. We need to give her some of the recognition that she deserves in all of our lovely quilts that will be passed down through generations of our family. And maybe you could do a quilt label just saying a little bit about May Morris with it. £58.99. I know that Hannah right now will be screaming at the telly. I love her. I could just imagine her going, I just love her. Have a read about her. The blues or the reds? Reds. Crimson and gold. Oh, nice. See, this colour is very, very opulent, isn't it? That regal look. Even, do you know what? Yeah, Christmas, classic Christmas colours. Reds and golds, they're very, very regal. Oh, what's this? See, that's it. Do you know what? I do see when I go into garden centres and things around Christmas and they have all the different colours and displays. Joe just said, I wonder what's going to be the on-trend colour this year for Christmas. I just don't think you can beat red and gold. I think these colours would be lovely. You get half a metre which looks like this. Oh, my word. I love that. It's like a garden trellis, isn't it, that you would see in France or Paris or in the movies. I love it. The path that you're looking down and then the garden, like quite a botanically feel. Oh, and look at the owl. So that's just half a metre. There's still so much that you're getting. Is this the only bundle that has this trellis one, actually? This is the only bundle that has this trellis, so it doesn't come in any other colourway. So if you love that one, which I do, go for it. And, hate to sound like a broken record, but we've never done this, free P&P. First time that we've offered free postage and packaging in a show. So please do make the most of it. Right, so that's the reds and the golds, the crimson. It is such gorgeous quality. Oh, look at the bird. Hi, Han. Do you know what? I absolutely agree with you. Hannah's saying, I wonder whether this is taken from a panel of embroidery. I think it could be, you know, the owl. If you have a look at, because it says on the salvage here, the owl, 1895, V&A Museum, London. Have a Google of that, Hannah, and see if you can see it. See if you can see the embroidery, if it's come from a panel of embroidery, because it is really nice. 1895, Victoria and Albert Museum, London, called the Owl. It's got to be. It's got to be. See, we're learning so much about it. Sometimes fabrics, I think I love them because they're really pretty. The foliage, the lovely frosty foliage, which was gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And then some fabrics, when you start to actually dig deeper into the designs and the artist, and I do love the history that comes with it as well. I think this one, to have something in your home that when somebody says, oh, that's a nice cushion, you can tell them all about May Morris. You can tell, because they'll have heard of William Morris, but there's not as many people that will have heard of May. And don't get me wrong, she was so influential in her time and really, really famous, and really renowned for what she did. But of course, never made it as famous as her father. Incredible. Right, so they're the crimson bundle. The other bundle that we have is blue. These lovely deep blues. Sorry, indigo, this one's called. I like that it's all mixing in with the gold. So whether you are adding in the green, it's going to go. If you're adding in, you know, that first bundle that we had, they're all going to work together really nicely, aren't they? Ivory, crimson, or sage. Look at the detail. This is what she was very, very, very famous for, was the detail. It was how technically, I've taken this from the I can't think what website it was. I think it was the William Morris Gallery website, and it said it was her technically brilliant embroidery that set her apart. She was phenomenal. To say she was, a young girl. She was 23 when she took over the department of embroidery. I couldn't have done that, no. Oh, I found another one. The owl again in blue this time. We have got it in the blue colourway. So, once again, the owl, 1895. I'd keep these salvages. I would keep them. I've seen so many people that do such beautiful designs just using salvage. See, that's completely different. That's like the night owl, isn't it? Gosh, it's crazy, isn't it? How changing colours in fabric can make it look completely different. But you could have that as a wall hanging, embellish over the top, do some hand embroidery, just bringing out some of those features. Maybe with one of your new gold or silver. What about the silver threads that we had earlier, the polyester threads? That looks amazing. So that one, it comes as 1/2 metre, which looks like this. That'd be an interesting one to get by the 1/2 metre, actually. So you've got then the panel just repeating. It was an embroidery design by John Henry as an embroidery wall hanging. See, this is again what I love. So it was part of May Morris's department, her collection, the May Morris embroidery section of Morris & Co. But it was actually designed by, what was his name? John Henry. John Henry, another big name again in the arts and crafts movement. So I just love diving into it all and learning more about the collective that is Morris & Co. And I like that Moda have done that for us. They've, they've given us such an insight into her work and into the whole collective. That one's gorgeous as well. $51.99. So now you've seen all of the bundles. If there is a fabric that has caught your eye, we can do them by the 1/2 metre. So shall we start with the back to the ebony? So I want to read now what all of the salvages say. What's that? Sorry, Joe. Opening up the movements to learn more, and hopefully that May will have approved of all of the collection. Is that what you said, Joe? Basically, yeah, you just said. Thank you. This one's called Sallieann, which is, again, 1896 Victoria and Albert Museum. I was just wondering if we were to Google it. Cellandine, Sallieann, 1896 Victoria and Albert Museum, London. I'm just wondering who this one was designed by. £7.49.5 metre now for such gorgeous quality and amazing history. But, of course, when you are looking at fabrics that have got the history, if you start pulling out vintage fabrics and old fabrics, they don't have the same properties that new modern quilting fabrics have. So you can wash this, you can put this, at 40 degrees, you put it in your wash, you could use it for sewing, you can cut it up and use it for your patchwork, sew back together. You can still see that same colour, it's not going to fade, it's not going to alter. You can use this with your iron, obviously. You don't need to be as concerned or as worried or thinking too much as if you were to use old quilting fabric or old fabric to quilt with. £7.49.5 metre. Arcadia. I'll tell you the names of what's on the salvage of the pieces of art and see if we can find about it, just so you at home as well can have a little bit more of a read if you want to, because I know a lot of people are going to be really interested in this. Oh, this one's been cut off, so I can't see it. That's it, depending on where it's been cut off the bolt. £7.49. Studio Arcadia on Evany. £7.49. Do you want me to move to a...
You almost got full position, yeah.
Thank you. I was really doing some fabric fitness then. I was leaning over the front of the desk, so Joe's just kindly come and moved the camera, thank you. £7.49.5 metre and free P&P, brand new collection today, a brand new collection to us, and I've got a feeling it's going to be really popular. See, even though it's quilting cotton, you can still absolutely do some dressmaking with it. It's got beautiful drape to it. It is quilting cotton, but you can use this for bag making, you could use this for dressmaking, you could use this for all sorts. The Arcadia, which is this one. Just before we move on, the first picture from the V&A slide. Is that what Hannah's saying? The first one? The honeysuckle. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, those sort of vines and a honeysuckle, the wild English flowers. Or maybe, Hannah, is it the honeysuckle wallpaper? The wallpaper, you can see how the vines are all sort of intertwined, very similarly to the Moda fabric that you see here. You can see the wallpaper there, Arcadia, the Arcadia wallpaper above the honeysuckle one. I think that's taken from the wallpaper. It's so interesting, isn't it? The green. This one's called Morris Room. Morris Room, 1866 this time. That's this one. See, that's beautiful as well. I really like the yellows, the colours again. Yeah. 7.49.5 metre. So you saw the picture from the V&A Museum of the wallpaper that May Morris designed, taken elements from the wallpaper that May Morris designed, and they've used it in the Moda collection. So just taking elements. It's so much fun having Hannah at home, isn't it? We can't wait till you're back in here, Hannah. She's so passionate about this collection. We've all been reading up on it over the last few days, and it's just so interesting. We just keep diving in further and further into May Morris's life and the whole William Morris collective, the Morris & Co collective. 7.49.5 metre. Free P&P all day. We're going to do the next one. This one is, let's see if it says anything more on the selvage. Tulip 1900. Tulip 1900. This is really lovely. See, this would be great for fussy cutting. This would be really nice. I'm thinking, have you seen when you can do piecing or you can do EPP using a mirror and fussy cutting, so you could get really cool reflections? £7, 49.5 metre. Joe's exhausted. This one says Tulip 1900. Is that the wrong graphic? I love the background of it as well. I think I've got this in the right order. I think it's me. Joe's saying, oh my word, I'm exhausted. I've got so much to do. It's just manic, isn't it? Thank you all so much for your lovely messages, by the way. I'm so pleased that you could join me this morning. And please do message in. If it's your birthday this week, please do message me, because we all need to just celebrate together, don't we? We're going to have a cup of tea and a piece of cake in the next hour. It is that one. Oh, there we go. Found the right graphics. This is IGW134 is the item code number if you speak to the customer service team. Don't forget to use the code. Just say to them, Vicki, I want free P&P. Just say that to them. And they can, of course, apply the code at checkout on the customer service team phone line number as well. So whether you're buying on the web, if you've checked out, it isn't just one, because sometimes you get great P&P offers, don't you, on websites, but you can only use it once. So if you've bought something already and then you think later on, do you know what, I'm going to take advantage of the 680 plus offer, or I want to get some more of the Morris May fabrics, you can come back, still use the code again. As far as I'm aware, you can use it more than once. You can use it just all day today. Okay. Willow and Berries. Willow and Berries. This one's called Morris Room 1866. I could just imagine wallpaper, though, looking like this, couldn't you? Or in sort of chairs, armchairs and fancy cushions and rugs with all of these different patterns on. Your Moda, May Morris, Willow and Berry. Sorry if some of the graphics were then are a bit back to front. Joe was, he says, oh, I've just got it all back to front. So have a look on the website. All of the graphics to the correct fabrics are all on the web. Don't worry, you'll be able to get them all on the web. He says, I'm back on track now. I'm back on track now. He's trying to redeem himself. £7.49.5 metre. It's because we're chatting too much about the names of the artwork or what it's named sort of after on the fabric. It's different to our graphics name. £7.49, and you haven't even had any fizz yet, Joe. We haven't opened the fizz. No, we'll have a cup of tea with our cake. Okay, so I've now got, this is very dramatic. This is Arcadia. That makes more sense. Makes a lot more sense. You know when we were getting a bit like, honeysuckle, this one. This is called Arcadia. Can we show the picture again, the slide? You saw the Arcadia wallpaper that was designed by May Morris. It is actually in the V&A Museum. There it is on the top right. Can you see the Arcadia wallpaper? This is Arcadia. Taken, May Morris's design, Arcadia, famously printed from May Morris, but now we've got it with Moda fabric, celebrating the amazing designs of May Morris and her collective at Morris & Co. Just £7.49.5 metre. It's making more sense now, isn't it? We're in sync now, Joe. 1886 Arcadia wallpaper, taken elements from May Morris's designs and printed onto gorgeous quilting fabric. That's £7.49. So I believe you might have seen those graphics before, but it was to a different fabric. That's why we were confused. It was to the honeysuckle. Oh, the honeysuckle's next. Yes! This looks like the picture. This looks like the picture from the V&A. It will make a lot of sense when you see it. There you go. Can we show that picture again? Honeysuckle wallpaper, designed by May Morris, hand-printed by Morris & Co. in 1883, and now by Moda in 2020. This is what I love, though, bringing history back to life, using modern technology, printing fabric the way they do now, gives you such amazing detail. Look at the detail in every single one of those flowers and leaves. When you see it at home, you'll see it even in more detail. £7.49, and it's printed on such beautiful quality quilting cotton. This is probably one of her most, if not the most, famous print. If you Google May Morris, then you'll probably see pictures of the honeysuckle. So that is a really, really popular one. I have no idea where today's going. Right. Don't forget to check out, remember, you can use your free P&P today all day long. Now, this one is called Evany. Okay, now on my salvage, it says Iris 1887. Look at that. See, that is gorgeous. I swear I've seen this in sort of Morris & Co before. This is a really, really gorgeous print. What is that? Is it a bird? I love the detail as well in the background. Look at the different shading. I'm just imagining doing some amazing embroidery over the top of it as well. Somebody coming along and doing, you know, having quite a large hoop just with a section of this on their wall. Cushions with this look beautiful with a gold piped edge. Okay, we've got no time whatsoever, so we're going to move on to the gold and sage. Right. So let's go for Arcadia, which we've got in sage and we've got in gold. 100% cotton, beautiful colour, great for soft furnishing. I think this would be beautiful for dressmaking as well. And the value for money is fantastic. It's £7.49.5 metre. Think about what you would pay for Morris May or Morris & Co. toiletry bags or purses. Storage boxes. I know exactly why Hannah loves May Morris. She's found an article written about May Morris from when she was a child, and it says, go on, read it to me, Joan. As a child, May loved the outdoors. Said to favour flowers over people, it's like Hannah, and often getting into trouble for bringing home pebbles and making holes in her handkerchief. She sounded very mischievous, didn't she? That's from the National Trust website. I'm not surprised that Hannah has taken a shining to May Morris. You'd be besties, wouldn't you? £7.49.5 metre with free P&P all day long. That's your Arcadia. We have got that coming up soon as well in the gold colourway. Do you love it? I just think this is such a gorgeous collection. Don't get me wrong, we could bring it on and just say brand new Moda collection and talk about the colours and the patterns, but I think it's just so much more exciting when you can read about the history of where it's come from. Golden Sage bundle, this one, only 2 bundles left. So if you do love this colourway, if you want the whole shebang and all of the fabrics by the half metre, then there's only 2 chances to get the full bundle. We are going to have to fly through these. We've got 20 minutes. We kind of have seen a lot of these prints now and talking about them a lot, so I'm just going to speed up a bit if you don't mind. That's £7.49.5 metre. I've got Honeysuckle warning. Honeysuckle up next. I've got a feeling that this is going to be one of those collections that when we bring to you, we just get to know all of the names very, very quickly. This is your honeysuckle. Do you know, I think I could be almost positive that my mum used to have cushions with this. Do you see what I mean? It's just got such a nostalgic feel. It's beautiful quality cotton from Moda, but I don't know whether it's because Hannah's told me that it's the most famous print of hers. I'm sure I've seen it before. I love that. Yeah, I'll hold it, saving time. I won't unfold them all. I'll just open it like that. Oh, £7.49, that's berries on cream. Willow and berries on cream. £7.49. What's your next one, Joe? Assorted flowers. This one says, that's Celandine again. Celandine, 1896. This is so perfect for fussy cutting. Just love these vines. Love all the nature-inspired fabrics. Less than £7.50 a half metre. Brilliant value. I know a lot of people that choose only Moda fabrics when they're quilting, or you know, only buy Moda fabrics. They are really lovely. Golden Sage is now sold out, so if you want any of these pieces, the only way of getting them is by the half metre. Free postage and packaging today. Do make the most of the brilliant deals. If there's something that you've had your eye on over the last few days, today's the day to order it with free postage and packaging, especially for my birthday. It isn't something that we're going to be able to offer. Well, it's the first time we've done it, and especially at the moment, as you can imagine, I didn't expect to do free P&P. I'm just really grateful that we can still get products out to you. And as far as I'm aware, we're all running on time in terms of delivery. If it is a little later, obviously, I just want to say thank you for understanding and your patience. But as far as I'm aware, it's still 4 to 6 working days. £7.49 a half metre. With free postage and packaging. Because I'm thinking, you know, there's so many rulers that we have on the website, and there's so many different fabrics. If there's bundles or even stash builders, your creams and your ivories, if there's anything on there, whilst we've got it in stock, because there's a lot of items that I know we will be bringing back, but I don't know when we'll be bringing them back with the current situation. So it's just worth stocking up. Arcadia again. Arcadia this time in the gold. £7.49 a half metre. Lovely, isn't it? Very opulent. Excuse me. The crimson. So, the mega bundle is available at the moment, but you saw how quick the other one sold out. I'm just going to hold this here while I have a sip of my drink because I've just got a slight tickle. It wasn't at all, was it? Sorry if that was really noisy. I've got this big flask that's basically all just metal. It's just one of these reusable straws, but it's a bit noisy for telly, but good for the world. £7.49 a half metre for your willow and berries on gold. So I had my cup holder yesterday. Well, I had my cup yesterday and I had my cup holder. You know, from in the car, it seemed to have jammed it in. So I walked in and didn't even realise I still had half my car attached to my mug. But no, I haven't done that today. Just a noisy cup. Right. Arcadia in red. Coming up to the I want to call it like the embroidery trellis design up soon. How lovely would this be for Christmas makes? Oh, I'm just starting to think, right, we've got a few more weeks. Oh, we don't know how long we're going to be, you know, in our homes. So please do take advantage of the fabrics that we have got in stock right now with free P&P and start making, start enjoying making. As John Cobb Morgan said, one of his top tips is, it's fun, enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, walk away and come back another day. Come back. I think that was a mixture of Debbie's tips and John's tips, actually, because John had said it should be fun. Please do enjoy it. And Debbie said that if you find that something's not working, come back the next day and you'll probably find that it's a lot easier or it's not as bad as you thought it was. And I'm the same. I find that I'm sewing trying to do something for what seems like hours and hours and hours, it's just not going right. And you come back a new day and it's all fun again. So if you are thinking of making, I'm thinking like with this, how about lovely opulent wine bottle gift bags with like nice little tassel drawstring? That'd be so nice for Christmas. And the feeling when you're all ready for Christmas and you're like, oh yeah, remember when I made all these in April? One less stress. This is called Stripe Twill 1906, V&A Museum. We're in sync now, Joe. The graphics also say striped twill. On crimson for £7.49. Even if it's just for your stash, try half a metre. Read about May Morris though. All I ask is that once you've got this collection, once you've got any of these fabrics, if you're making to gift, what about a lovely gift for somebody? You could make something and then do a little card or plaque just with a little bit about her. £7.49 a half metre. Right, we're ready because this one's going to sell out. If you do want this really beautiful, we only had it available in the blue and this crimson, and they're both completely different. Personally, if you want that warm, classic look, go with this one. Buy the half metre as well. Buy the half metre. How amazing would this look? Continuing on that stripe. Oh, I'm excited to see what you do with this. It's called the Owl. The Owl, 1895, the V&A Museum. Go on. What are you going to show me? Joe's got something to show us. Right, so we're on the V&A website. This is currently on the V&A website. There it is, the Owl wall hanging. Date designed, 1895, embroidered, 1898 to 1900. John Henry was the artist, and he was the manufacturer at Morris & Co., which, of course, we know May Morris was the head of the department. Was it Nora? Nora was the lady who embroidered it, and Audrey embroidered it on silk and cotton backing. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? And that's what we've got. So this isn't just celebrating May Morris. This is almost saying about her career and her life. So she was a big part of Morris & Co. And we all know that she was head of the embroidery department. So maybe you've seen pictures of this wall hanging before. And I like the fact that it's celebrating the whole of the Morris & Co. sort of collective. Lots of different designers. So this is taken directly from that panel, seeing all that gorgeous detail. Do you know, whenever we have Jane Greenough here, and she'll talk to us about some real historic cross-stitch panels that she's got, pieces that she's got, or how expensive they can go for when she sees them in auction, and some of the ones that she has are originals, but then we give you opportunity to be able to create them again in a new modern way and new modern techniques. That's what I love about this, is that you can have that bit of history, but it's up to you how you use it. Do you want to use it in a cushion? Do you want to use it for dressmaking? Do you want to use it for a bag, panel on a bag? How about for a border down the side of a quilt? So much that you're going to be able to do with this. And it is on stunning quality Moda cotton fabric. £7.49 a half metre. Loads of these are selling out by the half metre. Hannah wishes that she could have been here, one for the cake, but two, because honestly, I wish I could play on my phone the audio notes that Hannah was sending me last night. And she said, sorry, Vic, I know that, you're having your dinner, but just want to tell you, I found this out about May Morris. I love her. I love her. And she's literally messaging Joe constantly through the show. She wants to be part of it. She'd be out now. If we were in our normal situation, she'd have been on air now talking about May Morris, because she just absolutely loves her. What is she saying? Just loads of stuff. Joe just said just loads of stuff. Yeah, she says, I love arts and crafts because normally I can't afford anything that's, part of that arts and crafts movement and era. And she says, I love the fact that now I can have something that's taken from that movement and have something that I'm really passionate about. I love going to the museums to see, but now I can have something in my home and make something that reminds you and gets us talking about it. It is such, when we were talking about the Winterbourne House range of Liberty, we were talking about the same arts and crafts movement. And Winterbourne House, quite often they had a lot of what Morris & Co. wallpaper, so you're probably going to see May Morris sort of pieces or designs or just nods to May Morris in that Winterbourne House when we go on our field trip. But it's just such an expensive look, isn't it? It's such an opulent, classic look. I just want to say very classic, but very rich in colour. 749.5 metre. I'm so pleased that everybody loves this as much as we do. We've got the honeysuckle up next. Honeysuckle, lots of these are selling out by the half metre. I'm not surprised that you can get it with free P&P. Why not? Try us out if you've never bought from us before. This is, just going back to what I said earlier, probably the most popular print, probably the most popular of May's designs. This was taken from a wallpaper that May Morris designed. We did have the picture of it from the V&A Museum. It's definitely worth having a look if you haven't already. More into her life, because she was incredible. Not only was she one of the most important figures in the arts and crafts movement, she was an accomplished designer of wallpaper, woven textiles. As I say, she took over the embroidery section of Morris & Co. when she was just 23. 23. There's a lot of examples of her work in the V&A Museum if you ever get the chance to go, you know, when we're able to go. I've got two more. Crimson. This one says Iris 1887 on it. Just excited for you to delve into reading more about the designers and Morris & Co. as a company. I'm intrigued to see, because you know me, I work across the Gemporia sort of brand, so I've got a huge passion for gemstones and jewellery. She was a jewellery designer as well. I'd love to see some of her jewellery pieces. She was a jeweller. She, as I say, designed wallpaper. She was an amazing artist. She was a lecturer. She was a writer, teacher, and she was just so passionate. She's a campaigner for women artists. I love that, especially of her time. Last one. Assorted flowers. I was listening to it. It's quite funny, isn't it? When you're the daughter of somebody that was quite rich, very famous in their field. I was watching on social media Rod Stewart's daughter singing, and she's brilliant singer. But I thought, she's always going to be Rod Stewart's daughter, isn't she? And I just think, oh gosh, if May Morris, don't get me wrong, she probably had quite a lot of help from her father and a lot of talent passed down from her father. But also, you think, my word, she has been overshone by her father's fame. And she was obviously a very, very successful and very talented designer. Her embroidery work is just incredible. We've only got 5 minutes and we've got to do all these blues, haven't we? Right, let's whiz through these then. So, we've got assorted flowers. It gives you a completely different look when you're looking at the blues. These lovely cooler blues are very dramatic indeed. That's lovely. £7.49.5 metre for your assorted flowers on indigo. We've then also got the vines. Trying to do my best to fold these as well, Joe. This would be lovely for bags. I'm thinking of a really lovely bag. You could even use it at these sort of prices as bag linings. I do like to have a nice posh lining. Studio stripes. Oh, no, the owl. Is that what it's called? The owl one. I've got, the next one I've got was the Arcadian. I've then got the owl. Okay. I'm upside down, but we're upside down. I don't know how I must have got that out of order, sorry. How out of order, eh? That looked lovely with a gold, I keep saying gold and I mean silver metallic thread. Oh, doing some beautiful quilting. I've got Arcadia next. In which colour? In indigo. No, because I've also got it in cream, gold. The one in indigo. He laughed at me like, well, it's blue, obviously. We're on the blue bundle, Vic. Half a metre, £7.49, but here's your opportunity to buy the half metre. How about reupholstering, so a lovely chair or something with this? It would look amazing. £7.49. Or curtains, blinds. That would look a really nice blind. My mom, we've been talking about this a lot. I want to add some sort of colour into my living room, and my mom said navy blue's very, very in at the moment. Very blue, very in for soft furnishing. Can you hear my tummy? Did you hear that? We're nearly ready for cake, by the way. In a minute, I'm going to let you go and put the kettle on. Because we've got Sallieann Harrison joining us virtually. Well, she's recorded us a demonstration from home. So I'll tell you about that very soon. If you love these blues, you will love the Twilight Quilt that we've got coming up. £7.49 for your striped twill. Then we've got the cream. This is the Arcadia on cream. See, this would be beautiful for bedding. Imagine if you were to have gorgeous pillowcases and a guest bedroom bedding duvet set made of this. £7.49 a half metre. Yeah, we've got the one with the huge flowers. Let me know what you're thinking of making with this. Message me on Facebook. I love to know your mates and it inspires me. Do you love the depth of that? It almost has a bit of a three-dimensional feel to it, doesn't it? £7.49 a half metre. Free B&B all day. Just make sure you're adding the code Vicki before you're checking out where it says promo code. If you add in the word Vicki, then that will redeem your free P&P all day long, not only on air, but also on the web shop. So if there's something you've been umming and ahhing about over the last few days, today's the day to check out on it before it sells out. Lots of our stock on the web shop, as you can imagine in this current situation, is quite limited. So if there is something that you would like, I know a lot of the stock is low on the web shop, so just be aware of that. Great chance to be checking out though as soon as you can. £7.49 a half metre. Lots of people are taking advantage of the 680 plus deal, which is brilliant. That's gorgeous as well, isn't it? So that is the whole collection. This bundle is sold out. It's worth having a look online to see which other bundles are available. Lots by the half metre is now selling out. So I've put these back all in a right mess, haven't I? But they're all amazing. Sorry, that's my bad. Bundles. So that one sold out. What about the first one that we did? I'll check stock as we go. Definitely check the website and see what's available. So I can't remember what this one was called. Crimson, indigo. No, indigo's the blue, isn't it? Ivory. I'm definitely got us out of order now doing this. But Ebony. Ebony, £58.99. I don't look there, Joe.
I know you don't, but it's on the graphics.
Can you hear us bickering? Can you hear us? Spending too much time together. I speak to Joe every single day, even if we're not working together. Every day I hear from our Joe. It just starts to get annoying when we need Hannah to mediate. I normally laugh at them two bickering. £58.99. That's your ebony fabric bundle. And then we've also got She says she can hear Joe. Good. I'm pleased that you can hear him. Gold and sage. Sorry, the gold and sage sold out. The crimson is this one. Oh, I just love this owl print. I would get it just simply for this owl print. Kat said try 24 years with him. Oh no. Oh, Kat, honestly, when can we work together? I always get stuck with Joe. £58.99, 4 metres of the crimson. That is very rich, isn't it? Lovely, rich reds and golds. And then, yeah, have a look on the website for the golden sage. Some might not have checked out. There might be availability on the golden sage. It's definitely worth having a look on the website during the little break to see what is available. And then the blue, oh yeah, the golden sage, just so you can see the item code number. That's the golden sage bundle. 4 metres for £58.99 is definitely worth just having a quick check and see if you can get any of those. The blues, the indigo, half the metre of each of these, £51.99, and you're getting free postage and packaging today. Free P&P. All day long on the show, on the repeat, on the web shop, till midnight tonight. So it's definitely worth having a good old look, having a rummage through what we've got on there. Do you know what? There's still some early bird specials that are already reduced. There's some brilliant early birds. Have a look because they haven't taken them off yet. So there's some early bird specials. The fat quarters from yesterday might be on there. It's definitely worth having a bit of a look through and seeing what you can get. Pop the kettle on. Please would you join me in having some cake or a biscuit or something that you normally probably wouldn't have before midday, but we're having our 11s and having a bit of birthday cake. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in 3.
Hi, I'm John Cole Morgan and I'm here to give you my top tips on how I go about enjoying my sewing experience. My first top tip, as everybody knows, rotary cutter safety. If you're not using it and it's not on the mat, that blade must be locked. Please be safe. My second top tip is always buy more fabric than you need. If you don't have it, it's always going to sell out. You're going to struggle to find it, and when you do, it's going to cost you a lot more than when you were going to buy it originally. So buy it all. You always regret the bit you didn't buy. My next tip is positive or negative, always listen to the advice and opinions of other people. Even if you ignore them, everybody has a different perspective, everybody has a different take on things, and it might help you along the way. The next top tip I have is always buy the most expensive and the most useful and the most practical for your brain product that works for you. Some people prefer different things, buy what works for you. And my last tip is, this is fun, this is enjoyable, and make sure you are enjoying it. Because there's nothing worse than carrying on with something and hating it and not enjoying it. You need to make sure that you're having fun. Those are my top tips and how it is that I enjoy my sewing experience. I hope they help you because they have helped me. For more handy tips and demonstrations, make sure you watch us on our Freeview channel 74, Sky channel of 670, otherwise follow us on YouTube on Sewing Street, where you can catch up on past demonstrations and shows. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hello there, I'm Debbie Shaw, and I would love you to join me on the first Monday of every single month for Sewing Street Surgery. Now, this is a dedicated hour where I answer your questions, and that could be questions about techniques, it could be questions about tools, it could be questions about new products, or maybe something that you've seen that you just don't understand. There's a lot of questions about tensions on sewing machines, and there's a lot of questions about working with different weights of fabrics. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, the easiest way to bring a question over to us is to go to our Facebook page and post your question on there. I will collate all of those questions throughout the week. If we need any new products for you or if we need any new demonstrations, those will all be worked on leading up to that first Monday of the month. So do join me, Debbie Shaw, on Sewing Street Surgery on the first Monday.
Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @SewingStreet. We have Facebook. We've got 2 Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All 3 of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those 3 and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Hello, welcome back. Sorry, we had a bit of a longer because we realised there was a lot actually to do. And there I was going, right, it's time to go get our cup of tea and get a cake. And I forgot, actually, we've got lots of stuff to change. So, this hour, isn't it amazing? This is the Twilight Quilt, which Sallieann Harrison has very, very kindly done a video which is which she's prepared for us, which we're going to show in a minute. But the quilt itself, it's huge. It's 85 by 85 inches. And you get all of the instructions, all of the fabric that you're going to need to do the front and the binding included in your quilt kit. So I'm going to move this to the side. So everything that you need in your quilt kit, designed, as I say again, by Natalie Crabtree for $99.99. Sallieann's going to go through everything that she used. In fact, she used the Stripology for this. She did use the big Stripology. All of your instructions, all of your cutting instructions are in there. Plus then, you get everything that you're going to need for the front and the binding of making your 85 by 85 full quilt. So, these batiks as well. Batik fabrics as well. Sorry, Joe, he's running around all over the place. All of your batiks. I don't know the actual breakdown of the sizes of these fabrics, but it's everything that you're going to need to make the front of the quilt. Loads and loads. I mean, it's still going on. Look at all of these. They're lovely quality as well. All traditionally hand-dyed batik fabrics. I mean, how much would that cost? I've seen such amazing batik quilts, and then also your background. This is one of the blocks that Sallieann has sent through to us, who's made up. And it's gorgeous, isn't it? It has, from a distance, I mean, if you saw the photograph of it, it just looks, it almost looks like a 3D sort of effect. It's one of those, a bit of an illusion style quilt, your Twilight Zone quilt kit. And the blues especially are going to look gorgeous. So everything that you need, all you need to add then obviously is your backing and your wadding and your thread, but everything else is all in the kit ready to go. That's £99.99, and we're going to go through everything with Sallieann. So I want to join everybody over the next half an hour. We're all going to be watching it together. Enjoy a cup of tea, enjoy your cake, and after the video we'll go back through and have a check of stock and add some extras on there as well. But have a watch of this and I'll see you right afterwards.
Hello everyone, I'm Sallieann Harrison and this is a recording for Sewing Street in which I'm going to tell you how to make the lovely Twilight Zone quilt, which is, I've got a sample of it here. I've just got a quarter of the quilt, but in the studio they have the full quilt. It's incredible. I loved it when I got it out of the packet. It was like, wow, it's going to create so much movement, and it's amazing that you can create this amount of movement with just straight lines. And it's such an easy, straightforward make to make. I hope you enjoy the video and the demonstration. Thank you. This is a beautiful quilt, which is a bit of a mind bender. It's designed by a lady called Natalie Crabtree. It says featuring art-inspired Starry Night fabrics. It's blue, white and black. And it's a geometric design, which is a little bit of a mind bender. And actually, as you look at it, it looks like it's a design that's got depth, when really it's a flat piece of fabric, so it's really quite clever. Just going to run through the instructions. The instructions are very comprehensive. They give you complete cutting instructions, which I'm going to refer back to in a minute. So all the way through they give you which fabric to cut, etc. I strongly advise that you follow the cutting notes to the letter and actually label your fabrics as they've done. We have the exact fabrics in this kit, so it's exactly the same. The quilt itself, I should have said at the beginning, is quite a large quilt. It's 85 inches square and it's made up of blocks. The first block is Unit A and it's 2-inch strips pieced together, as you can see, in that direction. And the second block, which is Unit B, which forms the other half of a square block, is pieced together in the same way but ending with a white fabric rather than a blue one. The two halves are then pieced together to form a complete block that looks like this, and finally you trim it. And then the blocks themselves, it's really quite clever how you place them. So you're placing the blocks, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks by 6 blocks in the quilt, 85 inches square. The blocks, you trim them to 14 inches each, and then you piece them in rows as they've done going across. And it gives you that slightly mind-bending effect, which is rather quite cool. Okay, just a few notes on cutting out. As I say, the instructions are comprehensive and you're basing it all around 2-inch strips. One of the things that I would say is the batiks feel like they've got quite a bit of starch in them, but the white fabric probably needs a little bit of starching. So I would recommend that you use either something like Best Press or something like Flatter, or even go as far as using like a heavy spray starch. Give it a little bit of starch because that'll make all the difference. The other tip that I've got for cutting out is you need to make sure that you are actually cutting on the grain of the fabric. So you want to be cutting on the crosswise or the lengthwise grain all the time. If you don't cut on the crosswise or the lengthwise grain, what you'll end up with is strips of fabric that fray slightly like these do. Can you see all those ends coming off the side? That's because the fabric is not being cut parallel to the grain. Can you see? And what that means for your block is every strip in your block will be slightly off, which means that it will be prone to bend as you go through making up the quilt. Okay, that being said, finding the warp and the weft of your fabric is a little bit of a trick in itself. So you want to get hold of the white fabric and absolutely match up the selvages so that they, I'm not sure if I can lift this up for the camera, so that they match completely, okay? And let the fabric fall. And then, in the interest of actually getting it on the cutting mat, I've rolled it down to this sort of size. You want to give it a good press. I would then sit it on a line in your mat, any line, and I use a rotary cutter to cut the pieces out. So the first piece that you need to cut is a 14.5-inch strip. So I'd use a 45mm rotary cutter. What you're going to do is just straighten off that end piece. Actually, I'll do it the other way around. Straighten off this end, and then we'll turn it over. So again, it's sat on the line. I'm going to straighten off the end. Okay. Now, get this going in position. Sit it back on a line. Now, can you see, I don't know if the camera's going to do a close-up, but if you've got lots and lots of threads coming off at this point, it's because you haven't cut absolutely on the warp and the crosswise and the lengthwise grain of the fabric. This looks fine, so I'm going to actually take off a piece now that's 14.5 inches. To do that, I'm going to count from 2.5 to 17. And then got the rotary cutter open. Always cut away from yourself. One of the size strips that you need to cut in the quilt is a 9-inch strip of white fabric. So what you would do is you're always going to cut away from yourself. So I'm just lining it up and taking it off. This is across the width of the fabric. I'm going to rotate it, because if you've got a Stripology ruler, then this is a good chance to bring this into play. So what you're going to do is put your Stripology on the top. So I'm just lining up the edge. So I'm just going to lose probably 1/4 inch down the side. And I'm going to line up the bottom with the bottom of my piece of fabric and the 1/4 inch marking, because I'm just going to take off the edge. And I'm going to take off that bit at 0, and then I can go along to 2 and 4 and 6 and 8 and 10. Sometimes you hear it miss. I'm sure I heard one miss about 4, so I'm just double checking them. Okay. So it's a good way of cutting multiple strips. But as I say, make sure your rotary cutter has gone all the way through. Some tips on cutting out. We're moving on to piecing the blocks. So I'm going to piece unit A, and here are all my strips in succession by length, and then I'm going to join them together in that particular format. To do this, I'm just going to line them up, because it's really good if you have got like a visual representation of where you're going. So I'm just going to line them up so I can see exactly what I'm doing. So I can fit them all in the frame. There's one that's not going to fit. Okay. So you're going to start off by piecing the navy block onto this one. So it's quite a small piece won't pin it. And you're going to sew it with a 1/4 inch seam. I'm just using a 50 weight thread and a straight stitch of about 2. That's the first one. Next one. One thing about the batik, some of them seem to have a front and back. This one seems to have a little bit of a spotty back to it, and I think that is the front side, but you can decide as you go along. Some of them do seem to have a front and others don't. So I'm just lining the 2 edges of the fabric up together and just sewing. Sewing them together one by one. When we do block B, I'll show you a different way of sewing them together. So. This one. They get a bit longer, they get a little bit more difficult to manage, so you might want to put a few pins in. So if you're going to put some pins in, I'd put one right at the beginning at right angles to the seam, and then one a little bit further down just to stop it flapping around. Where I'm going to. This one, again with a couple of pins. One at the beginning, one a little bit further down, and make sure the edges are completely lined up. They're against each other. If you put the pins in this way, then it gives you the opportunity just to pull them out as you go along. That's if you're right-handed. Out. So there you have one block A unit, which is half of your pieced block. So now I'm going to go on and do unit B, which forms the other half of the pieced unit. And again, I would lay things out in the order that they're showing me in the diagram. So it's best to follow it. Don't know if I'm going to fit them all in. Probably not. Let's put those over there out of the way for the moment. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to chain piece it, which means that I'm going to sew the pieces together and then sew off the end and sew the next pair together so they get pieced in pairs. So this is the first pair. This is the next pair. The advantage of chain piecing is that you don't have to take it out so many times and reposition the machine. This means that ultimately there's less room for error, especially at the beginning and end of each, you know, where you start and where you finish, because you tend to go a little wobble at the beginning and a little wobble or narrower at the end. So it helps. Bring those back into view. So that's that one, that one. So then it would be that one to that one. Try and go in the right way. Should I have this the right way around at the minute? Ah, no. It's right around. Then go back and snip between them. So this one's going to go here. This one's going to go here. Oops. Here. That's the last one. And then you just repeat the process and do the chain piecing again. So right sides together of the two pairs. Next two pairs, right sides together. Again, you might need a pin at this point as they get bigger. This one. Those two. And then the final one. This one. Turn it over so I can see where I'm going to finish. Okay. So then should have our block B, which is the other half of the unit that we're going to make. So I'll go on in the next section and I'll show you how to press them and trim them. So now we've made our half blocks A and B. This is a block A and I'm going to press it the way that they actually tell you in the instructions. And the way they tell you to press it is by pressing all of the seams towards the blue square. So I'm just going to whip my way across it. And same, a little bit careful at the top. So that's our block A. I'll do the same with B, but with B, we're actually going to iron all of the seams away from the white square. So we're doing the reverse of what we've done on the other one. So you need to be a little bit careful with the tops. Ordinarily I'd probably set each seam, but just, and then press it to one side, but for the interest of the camera and the cameraman, we're doing it as quick as we can so that it gives you a flavour of what's going on. So there is your part A, and here is your part B. Okay, now what you need to do next is trim it. So I'm going to take both of them and you trim them to 14.5 inches. So I've got the cutting mat here. What I'm going to do is place it down on 0. I found that my blocks just about made it to 14.5, so don't be surprised if you think that it's going to be huge, because my blocks weren't. They just about fitted. And then you're going to cut on the diagonal. So I'm lining up 14.5 on the bottom of the ruler and 14.5 on the side, which is just the top. And I'm going to take off that bit. So you want to use your hand to move along the ruler and obviously do it away from you. So that's the A part. Just put that in there. And do the same with the other part. So you're going to want to line up this. So again, looking for the 14.5 inch point there, having it on 0, looking for the 14.5 here. So double checking. Okay. I'm just going to take that off. And it's really that's your waist. Laid in. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and sew the 2 halves of the block together like this. Sewing the blocks together, so sewing the partial blocks together, blocks A and B. We've now squared them to their 14.5 inches across along these sides, and we're going to join them together along the diagonal. Now I would recommend that you use some pins for this. What I tend to do is put a pin in every other one, so you can see that the seams will nest because of the way you've pressed it. So you want to nest them, put them up against each other quite hard so that you get perfectly aligned stripes. So I'm just going to go along. I'm doing every other one. You might want to do every one. Entirely up to you. Depends how confident you are with your piecing skills. So just butting them up against each other and popping in a pin. Did find at the ends that it likes to do a little bit of walkabout, and so probably put an extra couple of pins in at the end. So just put it right down at the bottom there. Okay. So sewing the diagonal, get those edges right up against each other. It's gone a bit astray. Get back in. It's not quite. Let's take the pins. Now what you would do next is, oh, there's one left on. Let's check that they're all lined up, which they are. And then you go away and press it downwards towards this darker blue one. So I'm going to press it along here and then I'm going to trim it to 14 inches. So we've gone ahead and we've made a block. For the purposes of the demonstration, I've actually made a quarter of the quilt, which equates to 9 blocks. Here is the block that we made, and here are 2 that I've made earlier that I've joined together. So the idea with the quilt is that you actually see, so you would join 6 blocks in a row, and then you would join each row upon row. But for the purposes of the demonstration, I'm going to join 3 rows of 3 together. So if we add this one onto the end of the 2 that I've already joined, so to do that, I would definitely pin it to make it sit as well as you can make it sit together. So I'll put a pin in the beginning. And did you see then I was actually feeling for the other seams so that I could nest them against each other. And I put a pin at the end. And then one about halfway along. Okay. So I'm sewing with again with a 1/4 inch seam, pulling a little bit of thread through so it doesn't catch anything. Pin. Like, can you see it's beginning to bag just a little bit? You can eradicate that by lifting your presser foot every so often so that the pieces fit together as neatly as you can. So it's just easing just a little bit of that top fabric through so that you don't end up with a pleat. Again, that gets the end. Okay, and this is my 3rd row. Again, I've followed the pattern. What you want to do is you want to press all the seams in each row. So you perhaps all to the right to start off with, then all to the left, then back all to the right. But here is row number 3. Row number, here are the other rows that I've already made, so it's getting a little bit big for the camera at the minute. But so once I'd pressed that, I would then add on to the bottom of this one. So what you need to do is go through and nest those seams that you've got going right and left. So this is row number 3 attaching to row number 2. So here again, I would nest those seams and put a pin through it. You're not going to overpin a seam, so I would definitely put lots of pins in these seams as you go along. Caught up then on my sewing machine. Right, a pin in the end. looking at the blocks, I've got a pin either end, so I would like to put a pin in the middle here, pin in the middle here, then at the beginning of the row, so this piece of quilt is actually a quarter of the studio sample. It would be the upper left corner. Okay. Just going to run down here. So this is row 3. Going on. So that's the final seam in the sample, which I said is a quarter of the one that you will see in the studio. It's a bit too big for this shot, but I'll give you another shot of this one. Once you've actually assembled the whole quilt, I would suggest there's loads of different ways that you could quilt this one. Really interesting ways. I would be tempted just to go the other way and go for some curves because it is so straight line. I would be tempted to put some big circles or some curved design in it. But one of the things I like most about the quilt is the fact that it sort of throws out a curve even though it's straight lines. I hope you enjoy making it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sallieann. I know that you'll be watching from home, so sending you a big virtual hug and kiss. Hope you're keeping well, and thank you very, very much for sending that in for us. It's nice just to be able to know that that's going to be on YouTube, so when you get your kit home, you can have and rewatch all of the hints and tips from Sallieann. A lot of people taking advantage of the quilt kit and asking if they can get any wadding. At the moment, our wadding is sort of in transit on the way to us, so it's not available at the moment, but I don't think you necessarily need to get it now with your quilt top. You'll be able to add that to your order if you want to purchase with us in the coming weeks. Fingers crossed that's going to be arriving very, very soon. You'll know about it as soon as it does. We'll be singing and dancing that we've got wadding. So, the Twilight Zone quilt. What I love about it is that, yes, it looks like that really sort of optical illusion, but actually if you break it down and look at the shapes that are used, I think for somebody that might be ready to tackle that first big quilt, maybe you've done a few smaller projects, maybe you've done a bit of quilting with bags or placemats and smaller or lap quilts, and you're thinking, right, I want to go for a big quilt. How impressive is this as a first large quilt? And I mean, it is big as well. It is 85 by 85. Now, everything that you have, everything that you need for the front of your quilt and your binding is here. This is the first first time, actually, that we've done a quilt kit by independent designer. So we've obviously had our quilt kit by our fabulous John Cole Morgan here. But this is the first time that we've bought a quilt kit from an independent designer. So this has all been bundled especially for this quilt. So we're not saying, oh, you will need this much of this and this much of this and playing around with colours. The great thing is that they talk about these specific fabrics, which you can't actually buy here separately. They're just especially for this quilt. So it's a really good chance of working with batik fabrics, working with a really cool pattern, something that I think is going to look very, very impressive. And I'm thinking potentially your first big quilt. So all of these fabrics, they're all different cuts, all ready to go. They will tell you exactly which ones that you're going to need for which parts during the project, but they're absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying to work out, I think that's the one that's potentially used as well for your binding. So there's loads and loads and loads, all traditionally hand-dyed, batik, beautiful fabrics that are cotton. They're so lovely to work with, as Sallieann was saying, and you get all of your white for your background as well. You will need to add your backing fabric. Once you're ready to quilt it, you'll need your wadding, which we'll bring you soon, but also you're going to need some backing fabric. I think this is what Sallieann had left over, wasn't it? Was it? Was this what was left over? Oh my word, so she sent all this back to us. So there's still so much fabric in there for your stash, which one I like because when you're given a quilt kit, especially if you're thinking, right, this is my very first big quilt, you don't want to make any wrong cuts. You're scared you're going to do the wrong thing. And of course, it is always the case, isn't it, that we might make a wrong seam or cut something incorrectly. It happens to us all. So it's good to know that you have got a bit of wiggle room with the fabric, or you've got enough then to maybe have a bit of a play around making some little bags or cushion to go with it or something. You've got plenty of fabric there to keep us all occupied for the next few weeks, all for your stash. So if you do want to back your quilts, we've got, now this is an extra wide backing, so you will have to piece it, but you will need 9 units, 4.5 metres. Sorry, I had to use my brain then. 9 units, 4.5 metres. And we thought these 2 colours that are on our web shop are brilliant colours. One for your stash, but also would look lovely to back this quilt. Your royal blue, £3.49 a half metre. Got to be the most affordable cotton fabric that we've got on our web shop. Got to be. What about getting, you know, extra? I know that one of John's top tips was always get a bit extra fabric than you think you need. So we're saying 4.5 metres, which is 9 units. You could get 10 units and then you've got some for in your stash if you want to back some of the cushions or if you want to use them for linings on a bag. These are both colours that I think are just great for your stash. And at that price point, it'll all come cut off the bolt, ready to go. It's 112 wide, so you will see seams, obviously. It will need to be pieced. The powder blue. Same if you want to back the full size quilt, which is 85 inches square, then you will need, oh, do you know what as well? Then you would need 4.5 metres, 9 units to back the quilt. This would look lovely with the early bird from earlier, which, by the way, is nearly sold out. I've only shown it once today because I know how many of you managed to get that then. It's only, remember, free postage. I was going to say 1 P&P. It's free P&P. Woo woo! Free P&P only for today. I just want to say thank you for the team at Sewing Street for giving me the best birthday party, and I'm pleased that everybody can reap the benefits of my birthday. Use the code Vicki at checkout for today only until midnight tonight on the replay or the web shop. Not just on these live products. Have a good look through the web. Call the customer service team. If you've had a look on the website or if you just want to speak to them, just shout at them my name. Say, Vicki told me I'd get free P&P, and they'll understand. £3.49 a half metre, 100% cotton. Yeah, you know, sometimes you'll tune into the radio station and they'll have had a competition going where you have to say a certain word when you answer the phone. Don't worry, you can say hello to them first. Don't just shout Vicki at them because, yeah, I don't know if they'll get that. But when you're ready to check out, use the code Vicki for free P&P today. £3.49 for your powder blue. That's so pretty. Right, so earlier on, I was talking about wonder clips actually because they come in the bundle with the sewing machine that we absolutely love. But are they all underneath everything here? Oh no, put them over here. Thank you, Joe. So he's tied it up. He's tied it up. Did you enjoy your cup of tea and cake, by the way? Did you have it? You're welcome. Joe said, yes, I did. Thank you very much. Look at how much we've eaten. There's 2 of us in here and we've eaten like a whole quarter of this cake and it was delish. I don't regret it at all. Although one of my best friends, Cherish, was sending me messages saying that she was doing a workout this morning. And I thought, oh no, I've just eaten so much cake. Have to power walk on my daily walk today. Have to go round the racecourse like this. Right, so our wonder clips. Wonder clips are wonderful. They are brilliant for all sorts. I mean, I've seen on the fan page so many uses for these wonder clips. Brilliant for binding. As we're talking about quilts, I think this would be ideal to go with Sallieann's project for your binding. I know that John Cole Morgan, he has these in the hundreds. He says, don't just stop at buying 50 when you can, you know, get multiple of these and bind it. Just place everything all there ready for Sylvia to bind your quilt. But they're lovely and flat. So the one side of them is flat, so that will sit flush down to the bottom of your quilt and just hold anything in place. If you're working, I'm thinking bag making as well, anything that's a bit bulkier, that's a bit difficult to use pins. Also, it's less time consuming than pinning and taking out the sewing machine because you mustn't sew over pins. So do take out your pins if you are using them. Have a go with wonder clips. Brilliant for bag making. If you're trying to, you know, if you've got a fabric that you can't use pins, what about if you're working with PU and you don't, or leather and you don't want it to pierce through, or if you're working with a finer silk and you don't want it to pierce through? Brilliant. Also, I've seen a lot of people using these to keep their instructions, post-it notes and little bits together. Say you've cut loads and loads of strips together and this is lots of strips we're imagining, clip them together or diamonds together, you can clip them all ready to go, so you get yourself a bit more organised before you start your project, all for £28.99. And it does look pretty in your project, but also it's very useful that they're bright colour, that you can see them up against any fabric. So if you've got a blue fabric, you could steer clear of the blue ones and go for your oranges and the blues and the yellows and your pinks. Really useful and in a nice little box. Now, if you are more of somebody that, you know, I do like to pin and things, pins always have, of course, the time and the place. We've got 100 of the clover flower-headed pins. These are some of Debbie Shaw's favourites, actually. These are some of Debbie Shaw's favourites because they're lovely and long. They're very, very sharp, right to the point. So once again, if you are just for dressmaking, if you're making adjustments on things, if you're using them for quilting as well, these are ideal because of the length of them. But they've also got this really nice brightly coloured flowered head. Now be aware they are plastic, so be obviously very careful if you're going near them with your iron or any heat, but they are nice and easy to see when you're taking them out of your sewing machine. Always just handy, especially with free P&P. It's items like this that normally, you know, if it were £3.95, it might make your mind up whether you needed them that day. You might be thinking, oh, I'll wait until I can get something else and then it's eligible for one P&P. Whereas today, it's free P&P. So even if you're looking at just purchasing some pins today, maybe you've never bought from us before and you want to try us out, then this is probably a great way of doing it. Just £10.99 with free P&P. The other pins that we have, are these the glass-headed ones? These ones, please. Oh, is it these ones? Do you want to do the magic ones? Oh, we haven't got them. The magic pins, we've got fine and we've got quilting pins. So let's do the patchwork ones, because I know when we were looking at putting together our seams with Sallieann, then these I think are going to be ideal. They're smaller than the other ones. So we've got the quilting pins which are longer. That's fine, Joe. We've got the quilting pins that are longer. You get 50 of your shorter pins, but they're perfect to make sure that you're going to be matching up your seams. Also, I like the fact that you've got this nice little comfort grip handles. That's really different, isn't it? I've not seen this before, that you have the little comfort grip handles. I suppose it makes it easier for you to put in and take out, and they're heat resistant, and they come in also a nice little case for on the move. 50 pins in there. I'm just wondering how big they are. 1 7/16 they are. And then your magic pins again, so safety grip. Comfort grip, did I say safety? Comfort grip, just to be able to make sure that you can see exactly when you're taking them out at your sewing machine. That about 99 for a pack of 50. So are these longer then, I'm guessing? I think these are longer than your other ones and slightly thicker. Your other ones are finer for going through, obviously, for your patchwork, whereas these, if you are quilting, if you want it to baste, or maybe for your binding again, just £9.99. Always need a lot of pins, don't we? Best press, and it's my favourite scent. I love, 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 love lavender. I absolutely do. I think that, don't get me wrong, scent-free is always very, very popular. The linen's popular. I know that that's a scent they do. I don't know whether we've had it here yet. But the lavender in particular is beautiful. It's not overpowering. It's not overly floral that it irritates you. It's just a beautiful smell, a beautiful, fresh, relaxing smell. I always just associate lavender with that tranquil smell. The spray nozzle, you can't really see from there, but it has a really lovely, fine, but great spritz. So you're not going to have to soak your fabric. It will just evenly distribute across your fabric. So when you're using, great for obviously when you're doing your patchwork, because if you find that your fabric, especially if you're working with a bias, can it can sort of distort slightly, it can warp in shape if you're handling it a lot. So this is just going to help to give it that bit of strength. The first thing that I do when I'm pressing my fabric, as soon as you get it out of the packet, I don't tend to wash my fabrics, but I do give it a good spray with Best Press and get any of those stubborn creases out. It's unlike any starch spray that you may have used before. Trust us, we are here to not be biased, actually. We give you lots of different tips and show you lots of different products from different brands and different makers, whereas Best Press is one that always comes out on top as our favourites and your favourites. So have a go. If you've not got on with a starch spray before, maybe it clogs up your needle a bit. This one, it says it will not clog up your needle. No clogging, no waste, no flaking, no dark flaking on dark fabrics even, no residue, no shine. It won't leave, even though it's purple, it will dry sort of completely clear if you're using it on a light fabric. Don't worry. It's gorgeous. Is this with vanilla as well? Yes, lavender and vanilla. I was thinking when I sprayed that, that's really lovely. It's like ice creamy. It's nice. £11.99 for the big bottle, as well. That's less than £12 a day. Now, the absolute star of the show, I did say I pushed as many buttons as I possibly could. It's the first big event that we've done. I sound really sort of big-headed, don't I? It's the big event, it's my birthday. But I did think, right, how can we cheer everybody up? Of course, anyone who's got a birthday at the moment, you know, it's a bit rubbish. We can't do anything, can we? So I said, right, please, 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 can we do some brilliant, brilliant offers? Our team have gone above and beyond today. They really, really have. This is our flagship machine. It's the 680 Plus. It sells all the time without any sort of discount or any other offer. It will always be one of the most popular machines, and I will be very comfortable standing on air talking about this machine any day of the week with no kind of offer. Today, I would hate for anybody to miss it. If you are in a position of upgrading a machine or purchasing a brand new Elna machine, it is a birthday special where you can get the 680 Plus, still with the extra warranty, still with all of the standard extras, still with free P&P, but also over £108 in fact, of goodies. 2 panels, rotating cutting mat, wonder clips, embroidery snips, quilting gloves, extra bobbins, your creative grid. I mean, you've got really useful things there. We're not just saying, oh, here's a load of extras that you probably won't use. Hannah and I have gone through and we've begged and pleaded to be able to get the best bundle together, especially for my birthday. And it's free P&P, even the sewing machine. Now, Over the last couple of hours, we've had a lot of questions coming in. Please continue to get your questions in. We're only live on air for the next minute or so, but our team are constantly working behind the scenes and managing all of the social media. So if you've got any questions about this machine or about this offer, please will you contact us on Facebook. It's Sewing Street TV. Message me directly. It's absolutely fine. Or message Sewing Street on Facebook. And if we can't answer it, we'll find the answer for you, because fingers crossed you'll be able to get that before the offer runs out. I'm going to speak to the team and see if we can do it until the weekend, because I know there's a lot of people who are, umming and ahhing about it. I wouldn't wait too long on that one though, as it's £1,099, but with free P&P today and with all of those goodies, it is completely unmissable. I'd hate for you to miss that chance, because it's a fab machine. It's our flagship machine. If I was going to do a special machine bundle and a special offer on any machine that we stock, had to be this one. I love it. Thank you, honestly, so much from the bottom of my heart. All of the team have gone above and beyond to make my birthday really special. And for you at home, all of your messages. I can't wait to go and read them all now. Thank you so, so much. Right, coming up tomorrow, you've got the Block of the Week. Block of the Week with John Cole Morgan. He's going to be joining you from 8 o'clock with Quilting Tools. 9 o'clock, the Block 3 of the Block of the Week. Don't worry, if you're just starting out, you can catch up on YouTube. He'll talk you through that on the show tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, we've got some fabulous fabric. Don't forget though, today until midnight tonight, free postage and packaging on the web shop. If you're just tuning in, you can watch, of course, you can watch back the show on the repeat as well. Use the code Vicki at checkout to redeem free P&P. Thank you so much for making my birthday so special. I will see you all soon. John will see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Bye.